Hello everyone, welcome to Wscube Tech. My name is Ayushi Jain, and in this video I bring you an entire course of MySQL for data analytics. Guys, with the help of SQL we can perform in database analytics. In this video we will be covering some basics and advanced concepts of SQL. For example, if I talk about the basics, you'll be learning about different operators, where operator, in operator, like operator, not in, and so much more. Where clause actually. And also, if I talk about the advanced concept, we will be covering join, set operations, CTE, window functions, and so much more. Along with the concepts, we will also be covering some basic questions related to each of the concept as well. So before we start our journey on this course, if you want to become a successful data analyst and want to join Wscube Tech's premium data analytics mentorship program, then the applications for our second cohort is open. This mentorship program will be led by top industry mentors from Amazon, Rapido, KPMG and Microsoft along with Wscube Tech. Here we will be covering more than 20 projects in the entire course. We'll also provide you placement assistance in this program. So if you want to be the part of this cohort, then link to apply for the cohort is provided in our description. So apply now. And now let's get started, guys. In the field of data analytics, knowing how to write an SQL query is one mandatory skill that one must know. And to know that, first of all, you need to understand that what is in database analytics. Why do we write queries inside MySQL when we have other tools like Power BI or Excel where we can create charts, where we can create KPI cards and get the very same kind of data. So to understand that, in our today's session, we are going to talk about MySQL and in database analytics. So hello everyone and a very warm welcome to Wscube Tech. My name is Ayushi Jain and in our today's video, we are going to talk about what is MySQL and why do we perform in database analytics. First of all, before knowing what is MySQL, let's understand some basic terminologies over here. So as I said, we are going to talk about MySQL, which is nothing but a kind of RDBMS. RDBMS over here stands for Relational Database Management System, where we can create tables. These tables are of customer data, these tables are of our orders, okay, or even if they are from our delivery. In each of these tables, there is something in common which connects these tables together, and we can retrieve the data from multiple tables at this single time by writing a single query. This is what RDBMS stands for. Now talking about MySQL, we understand that MySQL is a database. MySQL is a database. Now the question comes is, what is a database? Database is a place where we can store a huge amount of data. Now you'll say that we can store a huge amount of data in Excel as well. Yes, we can do that, but not more than 10 lakh rows. In Excel, we cannot load more than around 10 lakh rows. It's around 10 lakh 50,000 or something. But yeah, we cannot load more than that much of data. But if I talk about MySQL, in MySQL, we can load huge amount of data. We are talking about millions and billions of data over here. So MySQL can contain a lot of data. Now where is this data coming from? This data comes from us only whenever we are interacting with any websites, whenever we are interacting with any mobile applications or even different portals as well. In the background, those websites, applications are connected with the databases, and whenever we are buying something, making any transactions, that data is being collected in a database. Now to control the database, since the data over here is coming real time, we need to perform analysis real time as well. To perform analysis real time, we need to learn the language of the database. There are two kinds of databases. The first one is the SQL databases. The another one is the NoSQL databases, also known as SQL and NoSQL databases. Now, SQL over here stands for Structured Query Language. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It is a language of a database which allows us to interact with the database. Just like how if we want to interact with the computer, one should know the programming language. Similarly, if we want to interact with the database, we should know the language of the databases. So, one of the language is SQL. In the SQL, there are multiple types of SQL databases. Some of them is Microsoft's SQL. We have Postgres SQL. We also have MySQL. And then there are many more. Similarly, if I talk about NoSQL databases, we have MongoDB, we have Cassandra, and many more. So similarly, there are both kinds of databases, and in both the kinds of databases, there are multiple types of servers that we have over here. We also have MySQL, PostgreSQL, MySQL. In all of them, you will see that we use SQL language. Now, yes, a little bit of syntax, a little bit of functions vary from MySQL to Postgres and Postgres to MySQL, but they are majorly similar because they are using SQL over here, which is nothing but structured query language. So if you learn how to write an SQL in one of the databases, it would be very easy for you to write it in the other databases as well. There will be a minor 10 to 20% of changes in both the databases. So here in this video, we are going to talk about MySQL. MySQL is one of the very famous databases used by many of the companies. So here we are going to talk about MySQL. MySQL is one of the very famous databases used by many of the companies and as in many job roles as well. And as I said, we are talking about real-time data analysis here. Now, why real-time data analysis is required? Understand it in such a way that, let's say you have been asked that how much sales we have got from morning to right now, like the current time right now. If I ask you that, what you will do is you will say that I'll load this data in Excel or I'll load this data in any of the other tools and then I'll perform analysis. While at the same time, you can write a very small query in SQL databases and retrieve that data quickly real time if you know how to write the SQL queries. To perform in database analytics, you need to know there are several functions that can be used. We retrieve our data using the select query, and with select query there comes many clauses, many kinds of joins, window functions, CTEs. There are a lot of things which we are going to talk about in our upcoming videos as well. In our today's video, we only wanted to talk about what is MySQL and what is the importance of in database analytics, and I hope that is clear so far that what is MySQL and what is the importance of in database analytics. I hope you guys have no doubts in the questions, and in our upcoming sessions, we are going to talk about more such videos. So stay tuned guys, and I'll see you in the next session. So in our upcoming videos, we are going to talk about more such topics. So stay tuned guys and follow Wscube Tech for more such videos. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Ayushi Jan, and in our today's video, we are going to talk about how we can install MySQL. Guys, installing MySQL is a pretty simple task, but you need to follow some steps over here. Let's have a look on that. So here, I'll open my browser and write install MySQL. So I'll write install MySQL, and you'll see you'll get a link over here, download MySQL installer. Once you click on this, over here we have been given a version of 8.0.37. And you have two downloads over here. One is the community download, one is the web download. In the web one, you need the constant access of internet, so you can download any of them according to your choice. So say I will download this one, and I'll say no thanks, just start my download. Once it's done, you can press enter. As you can see, I have several downloads over here. So let's save it, and once I save it, it is now being downloaded. Let's click on open. Once I open it, here it will ask me for a permission. Click on yes. Once you click on yes, another permission will be there, and just say yes to everything. Once you do that, a page will pop up on your screen which will ask you that what kind of download do you want to set up over here. So don't go for full here, because it will in that case you will get a lot of tools which are not required actually. So we'll go for a custom download. In the custom one, click on next. Here from the servers, get the MySQL server. So choose this first file and click on this arrow so that this will go on your right hand side. Similarly, in the applications, go for workbench here. Choose the workbench and put it on the right hand side. And lastly, we have documentations, in where we have samples and example. These are nothing but the samples and example from our databases. So these are just practice databases here. So these are the three things that we need as of now. Once we have all these three things here, click on next. And then here it's asking to download it. Click on execute. Once you click on execute, it will take a few seconds. Can take few seconds or a minute depending upon the performance of your PC and your internet connections as well. So let it take a little bit of while. And once it is downloaded, click on next, and now it is ready to install. Click on execute to install all the three apps. Wait for it to be installed. Once it is done, click on next again. Here you will see some details are given. Just don't touch anything. Just click on next over here, next again. And now it will ask you to write in strong password. So make sure to write a password which is easy to remember. So it might say that the password is weak, but still just make sure that whatever you write here, it is very easy to remember. Click on next again. Once you click on next, here again we have a page. Click on next and click on execute. Wait for a few seconds. Once it is executed, click on finish and then click on next again, and now you will be asked for the password again. So write the very same password that you mentioned there. Click on check so that you can see if the connection is successful or not. Click on next again, execute, lastly finish, and next again and finish. So here we are done now and it has been installed. Once you have clicked on finish, it will automatically open the workbench for you. If in case it doesn't open, you can go to your search bar and there you can write workbench and it will display your MySQL workbench. Here we have local instance MySQL 80. Click on this. It will ask you for your password. Write your password and click on save password in Vault, so that you don't have to write it over and over again every time you open MySQL. Once you click on OK, it will open MySQL's interface for you. Now this page over here, this on the left hand side, this navigator over here is for the management, for the administration. On here, you'll see there is another tab of schemas. In these schemas, you have 3 databases that has been provided, which you remember. If you remember, we have also installed samples and example. These are those databases only. If I open this Sakila, in Sakila we have different tables. As you can see, we have actor, category, city, country, customer. These are the different sample tables from which you can practice something. So if you want to practice it, you can practice, or if you want to see any of the tables, see if I have address over here. If I click on it, it will open the address table along with all its columns. You can also see on the right hand side, we have SQL additions. If you don't want it for now, you can see on the top right side, we have these 3 buttons. I want to disable the right side part. So I'll disable it so that my query is now completely visible to me. And you can write your query, you can increase the size of it by clicking on control or long pressing on control and moving your cursor as well. So you can press on control, move your cursor, and you can increase and decrease the size of the font over here. To run anything, you can press control and enter and it will run your query. So this is how the basic interface looks like. On the top we write the query, at the center we get the table, and at the bottom we see that if the action was successful or not. If you want to disable it, you can just drop it down over here. Like, you cannot disable it, but you can just drop it down over here, and whenever you want to see what was the output or what was the error, you can just open it over once again. Okay, so yeah, this is how it works. I hope it is pretty much clear that how we have installed MySQL. In our upcoming sessions, we are going to talk about more such videos, so stay tuned guys, and for more such videos, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. If you want to become a successful data analyst and want to join Wscube Tech's premium data analytics mentorship program, then the applications for our second cohort is open. This mentorship program will be led by top industry mentors from Amazon, Rapido, KPMG and Microsoft along with Wscube Tech. Here we will be covering more than 20 projects in the entire course. We'll also provide you placement assistance in this program. So if you want to be the part of this cohort, then link to apply for the cohort is provided in our description. So apply now. And now let's get started guys. Hello everyone, my name is Ayushi Jain, and in our today's session we are going to talk about how we can import CSV or sample SQL files in our MySQL. Guys, how we can import this file in SQL, let's have a look on that. First of all, let's talk about that how we can import an SQL file. To import an SQL file, I'm showing you one SQL file over here which is on my GitHub, and the link of this file is provided in our video's description. So if you open this file over here, if you open this link which is provided in our description, you'll be able to see this kind of a file here. All you need to do is click on this download raw file. Once you click on this download raw file, click on save as well. Once you click on save, come back to your MySQL. In your MySQL, go to server. In the server, you'll find data import. Click on data import. Right now, you can see that on the left hand side, we only have 3 databases. Now, once you click on data import, there are 2 kinds of data which you can import. So here, go for the second one, that import from self-contained file. In this, choose the location of the database that you have just downloaded. Click on this, click on open. Once you click on open, click on start import. At the bottom, you'll find it start import, and if it is not visible, Go to import progress. Here you'll find start import. So click on start import, and once you're done, you can see the file has been uploaded over here. Click on refresh on the left hand side. Once you refresh, you'll get the data of the classic models. Open it, open the table, and you'll see you'll have the customers, employees, offices, order details, orders, payments, product lines, and products data as well. So if I open any of the files, this is how my file looks like. Similarly, if I want to open a CSV file, see, importing an SQL file is very easy. All your data has been imported from that file. If I talk about importing a CSV file, to import a CSV file, first we need a database over here. So need to create a database. To create a database in a query, write create database demo. And now if I run this and if I refresh here, you'll see that a demo database will be created. But once I open it, there is no table over here. To import any of the file over here, right click here, and you'll see you can see over here we have a table data import wizard. Click on this, go to browse. In the browse section, if you have any of the data, you can just click on it. For example, let's say if I open this pizza place sales, here we have files. If I open this orders or pizza types, let's say if I want to open pizzas, okay, click on open, click on next, click on create a new table called as pizzas. Yes, click on next again. We can see that all the data is in text, and one of them is in float, also known as double in our database language. So click on next again, wait for a few seconds, and your data is being imported. All your 96 records are imported over here. So if I refresh this again and open it here, so you can see that we have pizza's file over here. Now this generally does not happen in the industry. You do not import CSV files or Excel files over here in the SQL. From here, from SQL, our data goes to CSV or Excel SX files, but it does not happen the other way around. But even for the practice, if you want to do it, this is the way to do it. Or if we have, now this is one way of doing it, because we only had like 96 rows over here. But what if we have plenty of rows? In that case scenario, this method would not work directly. In that case, you will have to create a table by yourself. To create a table over here, so suppose if I try to import the other kind of other table which had like more data. So let's browse this, and if I'll go for order details, I know that in order details I have like plenty of data, or even in the orders as well, I have 21,000 rows. If I open this, click on next again, you can see that my date is coming in text and also my time is coming in text, and I can convert it to date time, and I can also convert it to only date time here. So now if I click on next again and click on next again, you'll see it has been executed. Click on next and it says that 0 records are imported. That means the table is created but none of the records are imported because we had a huge amount of data here. So what we need to do in this case scenario, I'll just delete this one. I'll drop this table orders. So let's drop it now. And I'll create a table myself for this. So I had 3 columns over here. Order ID, the second one was date, and the other one was time. Okay. So I'll create a table on my own. To create a table, we need to write this query that create table. Let's give it the name of orders. Okay. And close the parentheses. Here, first thing we need is the order ID, which should not be null. And the order ID is the integer. Okay. The second one over here would be our date. So order date. Let's call it order date, which is going to be a date, and it should not be a null. So when I'm defining integer or date, these are basically the data types that I'm defining. And then we also have order time, for which I'm taking time and I'm writing not null over here. Put a comma and let's define order ID as the primary key. So our primary key basically would be our order ID. Let's close it. Let's press run and let's refresh it. We do not have the table orders. Why? Because we have not selected the database. To select the database, double tap on demo. Okay. So I'll run it once again. And if I refresh it here, we now have orders table. If I open it, we have the table. We do not have the data, but we have the table. we have the headers basically. So now right click on it again and click on data import wizard, table data import wizard, and we are going for the very same file. Click on next, and we are using the existing table this time, which is our orders table. Click on next again, and in here we have order ID, date and date time. Okay, that these columns will go in these destination column. Okay, click on next again. This time now it will take a while to import the data, but all your data of 21,000 rows will be imported over here. So now once it is done, click on next again, and you can see all the 21,350 records have been imported. And this is how you can import a CSV file with a lot of data over here in MySQL. And if I refresh it once again, or even if I recall the query, all my data has been imported over here. But remember this doesn't happen in the industry. You do not import the CSV files into the database. But even if you want to practice something, this is the way to do it. I hope it is pretty much clear that how we can import SQL files or CSV files in our MySQL. In our upcoming sessions, we are going to talk about more such videos. So stay tuned guys, and for more such videos, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. If you want to retrieve a table of data from MySQL, in that condition, select query is used. And in our today's video, we will be discussing about how we can write a select query to retrieve a data from a table. So let's get started guys. So here I have a database called as classic models. In this we have several tables. If I open these are the number of tables that are there in the database. And if I click on this button, it will open the query for me. And the query says select everything from classic models.customers, and all the data has appeared at the bottom. If you want to write this query, it is very simple that you write simply select everything from, because I have clicked twice on it because classic models has been highlighted. I do not need to write the name of the database and then write the name of the table. So I can just directly write customers. And if I run it, I will still obtain the data. So you can see the difference between both of the queries. If you want to increase the font of it, all you need to do is just use Control and scroll the mouse, and it will increase the font for you. To run the query, you need to write Control and Enter. So here select statement. So here the select query is used to retrieve the data. So if you want to retrieve the data from the database, we use select. Asterisk over here stands for everything. So if you want to retrieve each and every column from that table, write everything. We need to define from which table we need to call this data. So from, and then customers, that is the name of the table. If you change it to something else, let's say if I change it to products, it would go like this. So this is how we can open the data from products. If in your case, if you're writing it like this, still you're unable to retrieve the data. So suppose if I've written the same query, but if I'm trying to run it, it won't show it to me. And if at the bottom, if I check the status, it would say that table wsjp.products does not exist. So what I have done over here is I have double tapped on wsjp22 database. Make sure whenever you are calling a table, just double click on that database to highlight it like this, so that it looks like a bold. Highlight it like this so that it looks like in bold characters. And now you can, if you run the query, you can see all the values from the table will appear over here. So this is how we use select query. What if we want to select only few of the columns? What if we want to retrieve only few of the column? For example, I only want to retrieve the product name, product line, and the quantity in stock. Okay. So for this, what I'll do is I'll write over here select product name, that is the name, and product line, comma, the last one is quantity in stock. From the name of our table is products. If you want, you can write it in another line as well. So if you want to end it over here, and if you want to write products, you may write it like this. It's important to close your query with a semicolon. So it's important to put a semicolon. So if you don't put a semicolon over here, it will show you an error. Make sure to always close your queries with a semicolon. If I press enter, now I only will get product name, product line, and quantity in stock. So this is how we can write select query. If you want to retrieve any specific columns, you can call specific columns as well, or you can call everything from a particular table as well. I hope after this session it is clear that how we can use select query to retrieve this data. In our next session, we will be discussing about where clause. So stay connected guys, and I'll see you in the next session. I hope after this session it is clear that if you want to retrieve a data from a table, how you can retrieve it, and if you want to retrieve specific columns, then how you can retrieve them as well. For more such tech related content, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. If you want to become a successful data analyst and want to join Wscube Tech's premium Data Analytics Mentorship program, then the applications for our second cohort is open. This mentorship program will be led by top industry mentors from Amazon, Rapido, KPMG and Microsoft along with Wscube Tech. Here we will be covering more than 20 projects in the entire course. We'll also provide you placement assistance in this program. So if you want to be the part of this cohort, then link to apply for the cohort is provided in our description. So apply now. And now let's get started guys. If you want to retrieve a data from a specific situation or a specific condition, in that condition, where clause is used. And in our today's video, we will be discussing about how we can use where clause in MySQL. So let's get started guys. So here in our previous sessions, we have discussed how we can install MySQL, how we can use select query to retrieve data, how we can retrieve all of the data, how we can retrieve data of particular columns. In our today's session, let's discuss if I want to retrieve the data of customers. Let's open, or we already have customers tab over here. Okay, so one more thing over here, that suppose if you have open products data over here, it's not a restriction that you cannot open customers data over here, but I'll just use another tab for it. So if I go to customers here, okay, if I write select everything from customers, and if I run this query, to run the query, the shortcut is Control and Enter. And even on the top, you have this run button. Okay, the shortcut over here is Control and Enter. Okay, so if I scroll towards the right, if I want to retrieve the data only from specific country, only from USA, let's say I want to obtain the data of only our customers who are in USA. In that case, what we will do, we'll simply write that where country is equals to USA and close it. Make sure when you're writing USA, put it inside double quotation. Whenever there is a textual value, whenever there is a value that contains date, double quotations will be used. In the cases of integers, you do not need double quotations. So if I run this query, you will now see that we have obtained the data, but only from the country USA. So this is how we can obtain the data. Even if you want to choose a city, that I only want to obtain the data from New York City. I want the data of all the customers whose city is NYC, that is New York City. So let's change the country to city, and here we have all the data of customers who live in New York City. Similarly, you can also define greater than or smaller than values as well. For example, if I run this code, the previous one, I will obtain all the data, and the credit limits are also given over here. If I click on the credit limit, it will automatically get arranged in the ascending order, and if I click on it again, it will now get arranged in the descending order. Okay. So what if I want the details of all the customers whose credit limit is greater than 1 lakh? In that condition, I will write the query like this, that select everything from customers where credit limit is greater than 1 lakh. Close the query, run it again, and now you will receive only the name of customers whose credit limit is greater than 1 lakh. Okay, if you only want the name as well, so suppose the name is given over here in contact first name, or customer name is the name of the franchisee they own, or a showroom they own. So here we have customer name as well. So if I write customer name where N is capital, if I run it again, and I have missed the name, if I run it again, I will only get the name of those people whose credit limit is greater than 1 lakh. Even if you want, I can put the name of the country as well, that from which country they belong to. If you want the customer number, we can get the customer number as well. So there is no limitation on the arrangement as well. So if I open this data, we can see customer number, customer name, contact last name. Customer number comes first and then the customer name, right? But when you're calling the data, when you're retrieving the data using select query, you do not need to put it in any order. You can just write simply whatever you want first, and whatever you want first will come first. Okay. One good thing about MySQL is if you select this whole query and use Control B, what it will do is it will beautify your code basically, that it will put select customer name, country, customer number from customers where credit limit is greater than 1 lakh. So this looks like more structured. So whenever if you want to make your code more structured, you can just select your whole code and press Control and B together to beautify it. I hope you like this video. For more such tech related content, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. And or and not operators in MySQL are often used in many queries. In this video, we will be discussing about how we can use these operators in MySQL. What are the different use cases in which we can use these operators? So let's get started, guys. So here in our previous session, we have discussed about some different queries where we have used select query to retrieve the data, where we have also used where clause to retrieve the data where the credit limit is greater than 1 lakh. So we have the name of the customer, we have country and customer number. So if I run this country, these are the name of the customers, the country and the customer number of those customers whose credit limit is greater than 1 lakh. Okay. What if I also want to retrieve the data of only those customers whose credit limit is greater than 1 lakh and they are from USA? So if I go to this one, so suppose if I write the query once again, let's start simply writing it, that select maybe everything from customers, say that credit limit should be greater than 1 lakh, and so and over here denotes that both the conditions that you have provided should be true. So and is used whenever you want all the conditions that you are providing to be true. So where we are writing multiple conditions, and here and is used so that if I write country equals USA, and if I close it and run it again, I will only obtain the data of those customers whose country is USA and whose credit limit is greater than 1 lakh. So this is how you can use AND operator. So AND operator over here denotes that both of these situations are mandatory. Now suppose, let's say, and where employee number is equal to 1165. So suppose there is this particular employee which is who is dealing with these people. Okay. So I want that and employee number, sales representative employee number. So sales representative employee number should be equal to, now as it is integer, I will be writing 1165 directly like this. And if I run this, see, as you can see, I'm only getting the data of those people whose customer representative employee number is 1165, whose credit limit is greater than 1 lakh, and who are from USA. So all the three conditions are true over here. And to make all the three conditions true, we use AND operator between these conditions. This is how AND operator is used. Similarly, if I talk about OR operator, so let's just beautify this one as well. So if I select all of it and press Ctrl B, this is how it will look like. That select everything from customers where credit limit is greater than 1 lakh, country is equals to USA, and sales representative employee number is 1165. Okay. Moving ahead, now let's discuss about OR operator. How do we use OR operator? OR operator is used when you want to give multiple conditions. For example, in job applications, there is often mentioned in the job application that your degree should be bachelor's, whether it is BTech, whether it is BCA, whether it is B.Ed, whether it is BSc. Any bachelor's degree is applicable. Any bachelor's degree means if in this condition I want to obtain the data from of the customers who are either from Germany or from USA, in that condition I will use OR operator. Okay, that means I want the data of both the countries basically. So whenever the country is USA or whenever the country is Germany, I want to obtain that particular data. For that I will be using OR operator. How to use it is very simple. That select everything from customers where country equals Germany or country equals USA. And many of you who are familiar with SQL will say that in operator could also be used over here, but that we will be learning in our upcoming videos. But as of now, as we are discussing about OR operator, so we are using OR operator over here, that select everything from customers where country is either Germany or USA. And as you can see, in the country section, we only have the countries of USA or Germany, I mean. Okay. Similarly, you can provide multiple condition using OR operator. Okay. Or you can mix and match as well. For example, suppose I want to get the data of those people who are from Germany and their credit limit is greater than 1 lakh, and who are from USA whose credit limit is greater than 1 lakh. So how I will write that? Let's have a look on that. In that condition, I'll just write it in multiple lines so that it will be easily visible for you all. So where country equals USA and credit limit should be greater than 0. Okay. You can put and over here, and because we are using OR, we can use OR as well, that OR country equals, I guess I've written where twice. This is how it would look like, but make sure to enclose it in a bracket, that whether the country is USA or Germany, but this one condition is mandatory. Okay. If I close this and if I run this, you can now see okay, I have written 0, 1 lakh. And now if I run this again, so we'll receive the data of both USA and Germany where the credit limit is greater than 1 lakh. This is how AND and OR operator works. Now let's talk about NOT operator. NOT operator is very simple. If I want to obtain all the data except from the country USA and the country Germany, in that condition I can use NOT operator. So here I can write select everything from customers where not country equals USA. Let's first start with one country only. So if I write where not country equals USA, it will give me the data of each customers except for the customers of USA. Similarly, if I write with the bracket or country equals Germany and close the bracket as well, now I'm receiving all the data except for the people who are from Germany or from USA. This is how this works. So you need to put a NOT operator. Just make sure before you're putting a NOT operator and you are using multiple conditions inside, just close it inside the parentheses. Follow the method of BODMAS. So basically brackets comes first, and put things inside the bracket so that they get solved first, and then later the other things will get solved. So these are some basic things about AND, OR and NOT operator. In our upcoming videos, we will be discussing more about them, how we can use it with different queries, whether they come with joins, whether they come with order by, or whether they come with group by. So stay connected guys, and for more such tech related content, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. If you want to become a successful data analyst and want to join Wscube Tech's premium data analytics mentorship program, then the applications for our second cohort is open. This mentorship program will be led by top industry mentors from Amazon, Rapido, KPMG and Microsoft along with Wscube Tech. Here we will be covering more than 20 projects in the entire course. We'll also provide you placement assistance in this program. So if you want to be the part of this cohort, then link to apply for the cohort is provided in our description. So apply now. And now let's get started guys. Like operator in SQL is used to detect patterns in your data. In our today's session, we will be discussing about how we can use like operator in MySQL if we want to detect our data, if we want to retrieve our data based on different patterns. So let's get started guys. So here in our previous sessions, as we have discussed about AND, OR and NOT operators, and we have also discussed about where clause and select query. So here if I'll write a query, let's say select everything from customers. Okay. Now I just want that all the customers who have 555 in their phone numbers, I want their data. Okay. Select everything from customers where phone. Now here we will not use equal to, because equal to will be equivalent to that value. We want to find the pattern over here that there should be 555 in their number, whether it's in the starting of the number, in the middle of the number or in the end of the number. Okay. So where phone is equals to this is how the syntax goes like, and here we will not write equals to, where we will be using like operator here. So where phone like 555, but this 555 should be enclosed inside two moduluses. Okay, so if I close this and I run this, you will now notice that all the phone numbers that we have over here have 555 in between them. Let's say I want all the phone numbers that contain 44 in between them. So these are some of the phone numbers that contain 44s between them. Similarly, you can find pattern based on different thing as well. For example, if I want to get the data of all the customers whose first name, so suppose if we want to retrieve the data of all the customers whose first name starts with A. So in that condition, I'll write, so where contact first name, and let's take it in our next row. So where contact first name, like, because I want it to start with A, so I'll write A and then modulus, which tells us that our word, it should start with A and it can end with anything it wants. So now you will see all the first names are from A and all the data of customers whose name starts with A are here. Similarly, what if I want that all the customers whose name ends with A, I want their data. In that case, I'll write modulus and then A, which tells us that whatever the letters are there, your name can start with any of those letters, but it should end with A. So if I run this again, I'll get the data like this: Anna, Martha, Francisca, Maria, Martha, Violetta and Rosa, which tells us that all the names ends with A, which tells us that all the names over here ends with A. This is how like operator works. Like operators allows you to detect patterns based on anything you provide. So whether it could be a details that is between your data, it could be details that is in the starting of your data or in the end of your data as well. I hope after this session it is clear how we can use like operator. Like operator can be used in several cases. For example, if you want to find out the name of people who have particular surnames or who have particular numbers in their phone numbers, in that case we can definitely use like operator. I hope after this session it's clear, and for more such SQL related videos, stay tuned guys. Thank you. Whenever you want to sort your data in SQL, whether it's alphabetically, numerically or even date wise, in that case order by query is used. In our today's session we will be learning how we can use order by in SQL. So let's get started guys. So to write order by, first of all, let's just get the complete data that, or maybe let's just get the first name, contact, first name, comma, country, comma, city, from customers. Okay, let's run this data and here we'll get the first name, country and the cities of the customers. Okay, simple. But what if I want my output to be ordered by the name of the country? So for example, if Australia is there, the first country should be Australia. Okay. Similarly, I want it to be in ascending order based on countries. Okay. So here I'll write order by country. If I run this again, you will now see that the name of the customers who are from Australia comes the first, then Austria, then Belgium, then Canada. That means our output has been ordered by country in ascending order. But what if I want descending order? See, the default value of order by is ascending. But if you want to convert it to descending, in that condition, you can write DESC over here. And as soon as I run it, now first of all, I'm getting the data of all those customers who are from USA. And then if I scroll down, there is UK, Switzerland, Spain, and so on. Similarly, you can order by based on two columns as well. For example, in USA, I want all the cities to be arranged in the ascending order. So I'll put a comma and write city. I do not need to write ascending or descending anything over here. ASC stands for ascending, DESC stands for descending. So if I run this, USA is here, but in USA, all the cities are arranged in the ascending order. Allentown, Boston, Brookhaven, Brisbane, and so on. I hope it is clear how we can use order by on the alphabetic values. Similarly, if we want some numeric values, for example, instead of first name, country and city, I'll get just first name, credit limit from customers, and will order by it by credit limit. And you can see with credit limit we have ordered it by. So first of all the customers with 0 credit limit are here, then 11,000, 21,000, 23,500 and so on. Similarly, if I put DESC, it would be arranged in the descending order as well. I can also do it with dates as well. So if I open orders here, orders contains dates. Now if I want a data which should be ordered by order date, in that condition I'll just write, similarly I'll just simply edit this one, that order by order date. And let me run this. Now it has been arranged over here like this, that's 6 January, 9 January, 10 January, 29th January, 31st January, then 11th February, 17th February, 24th February, 3rd March and so on. Similarly, you can use descending order based on anything else as well. So this is how order by can be used. Order by can be used with various kinds of queries as well. For example, with where also we can use order by, just like select contact first name, comma, credit limit from customers where country equals to USA. This is how we generally write if we want to obtain the data from USA. This is how we write it. Okay. If you also want to see the name of the country, you can put the name of the country as well, just to make sure that all the countries are USA, right? This is how we can get the data of USA. Now if I want to order it based on contact first name, let's say, so we will be writing order by contact first name. And if I run this, now it has been ordered by contact first name. First is Alan, then Brian, then Dorothy, Francisca, Jean and so on. So this is how we can order our data as well based on any column you want. You want it in descending, just write DESC after it. Remember that order by comes after where clause. Okay. So this is how order by works after this session. I hope it is clear that how we can use order by. Order by is often used in many of the queries, in many of the questions you will find order by. In a lot of questions that are on HackerRank or on Lead Code where you can practice SQL queries, you'll find in a lot of questions that order by is used there. So for more such SQL related videos, stay tuned guys. Thank you. If you want to become a successful data analyst and want to join Wscube Tech's premium Data Analytics Mentorship program, then the applications for our second cohort is open. This mentorship program will be led by top industry mentors from Amazon, Rapido, KPMG and Microsoft along with Wscube Tech. Here we will be covering more than 20 projects in the entire course. We'll also provide you placement assistance in this program. So if you want to be the part of this cohort, then link to apply for the cohort is provided in our description. So apply now. And now let's get started guys. Limit clause in SQL is used to limit your data based on number of rows you want to limit. In our today's session, we will be discussing about how you can use limit clause in MySQL. So let's get started guys. So here I'll write a query which goes like select everything from customers. If I run this, this is the output that we will get. Now what if I only want to view the first 5 rows of this data? In that condition, I'll write limit 5. And if I run this again, you will now notice that I will only receive first 5 values of this data. And similarly, if I write 10 here, similarly instead of 5, if I write 10 here, I'll be receiving the 10 rows of this data. This is how limit clause work. But suppose what if I want to receive the second data of our data? In that condition, I'll write 1, 1. And if I run this, I will be getting the second data from our data. Also, it can be used in different ways as well. Suppose that I want to obtain the details of the person with the highest credit limit. In that condition, how will I use the limit function? Let's have a look on that. Here, in that condition, I will be writing select everything from customers because we want to obtain the highest value. So first of all, we will order by our data based on credit limit. But it should be in descending because we want to receive the highest value. So now we have all the values which are arranged in descending order based on credit limit. Similarly, if I want to obtain the topmost value, I'll be writing limit 1. And if I run this, I will be getting the details of that person who has the highest credit limit. Similarly, you can arrange your data based on any order, and if you use limit, you can obtain the data. What if I want to obtain the data of a person who has the second highest credit limit? In that condition, I'll be writing 1, comma 1, which tells me I need to skip one row and then I need to provide with one row. So if I run this is what the output would look like. Similarly, if I want to get the details of the person of on second, third, fourth and fifth number, the output here would look like that skip the first row and then give me 4 rows, second, third, fourth and fifth. So if I run this, I'll be getting 4 rows which are second, third, fourth and fifth. This is how limit works. If you provide 2 parameters, it will skip the first value. Skip the first value means it will skip the number of the first value. So suppose if you want to skip 2 values and then obtain the 4 rows, then it will skip the first 2 rows and you will get the next 4 rows over here. So if I run this, these are the next 4 rows. I hope after this session it is clear that how we can use limit operator. Limit again can be used with several queries. We can use it with where as well. As we have learned in our previous session that where comes before order by. So we can pass a parameter as well that I want to obtain the name of the customer who has the highest credit limit in USA. So we will be writing where country equals USA. We will order by our data based on credit limit and it should be in descending and the limit should be 1. So this is the name of the person who has the highest credit limit in USA. I hope it's clear how we can use limit query in MySQL. For more such SQL related videos, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. Whenever you want to extract data between two numbers or between two dates, in that condition, between operator is used. And in our today's video, we will be discussing about how we can use between operator in SQL. So let's get started, guys. So here I'll write a query which says select everything from customers and let's call it. So here we have all the data from customers. Now you can see we have customer number that starts from 103 and if I click on this, we'll turn it into a descending order and it will get the last customer number that is 496. So 103 to 496, those are the customer numbers we have. What if we want to extract the data of all the customers that lies between the range of 150 and 200? Okay. In that condition, here we will write select everything from customers where customer number between, we will be using the between operator, between 150 and make sure to use AND operator here and 200. If I run this, see now all the data that we are getting is between the customer number 150 to 200. This is how between operator works. Similarly, you can do it for the credit limit as well. That I want the details of all the customer numbers whose credit limit lies between 1 lakh to 1,50,000. So here I'll write between 1 lakh and 1,50,000. If I run this, okay, I haven't written the name of the column, so where credit limit, and the credit limit should come over here instead of our customer number. So here credit limit would come, and if I run this, see all the data that we have over here is from all the customers who have the credit limit between 1 lakh to 1,50,000. This is how between operator works with numbers. Now if we talk about dates and how does it work with dates, let's have a look on that. So for that I'll go to orders. In orders we have our order date. Let's say I want to get all the data of dates between 1st of October 2003 to 31st of October 2003. That means I want all the data of October month 2003. In that condition, I'll write my query like this, that select everything from orders where order date between the first date over here. Now make sure you put it inside the double quotations. So the first date over here would be 2003. First of all, you'll write the year, then the month will go. So the month would be 10 and then the date. So from 01 starting from 1st October and ending at 2003, the same month, but the date is 31st. Okay, let's close it and run it. Now we will obtain all the data of October. You can order by your data as well. That order by order date. Okay, this is how we can get the data as well. Now here if you want to see how many of the orders were shipped, like you want to retrieve the data of shipped orders, then you can put here as. Now here if you want to get the data of all the orders that were shipped, in that condition we can use where this should be there and status should be equal to shipped. Shipped should be inside the double quotation. And now if I run this, I'll only get the details of the data that has been shipped. This is how it works. So make sure to put it inside the parentheses as well. Our code looks more structured, and you can just beautify it as well by using Control B. So select everything from orders where order date between this and status is shipped, and we have to order by it by order date. This is how we can use between operator along with where clause and order by as well. I hope after this session it is clear that how we can use between operator in SQL. For more such SQL related videos, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. If you want to become a successful data analyst and want to join Wscube Tech's premium data analytics mentorship program, then the applications for our second cohort is open. This mentorship program will be led by top industry mentors from Amazon, Rapido, KPMG and Microsoft along with Wscube Tech. Here we will be covering more than 20 projects in the entire course. We'll also provide you placement assistance in this program. So if you want to be the part of this cohort, then link to apply for the cohort is provided in our description. So apply now. And now let's get started, guys. In and not in SQL are often used instead of OR operator if we have the similar column names. Let's have a look in this video that how to use in and not in operator in SQL. So let's get started, guys. So for example, if I write a query like this, which goes like select everything from customers where country equals USA or country equals France. If I run this, this is the output that I received, that all the customers who are from France and USA, their data will appear over here. Okay, only the customers who are from USA and from France, their data will appear here. But here we are writing OR multiple times. What if I want to get the data of Germany as well? In that condition, I need to provide another OR, which goes like OR country equals Germany. And if I close this and run it again, so here now we have the data of France, USA and Germany. Okay, but writing OR multiple times is not feasible. In that case, what we can do, that if we have similar column names, instead of writing it multiple times, we can write where country in and create a set of parentheses over here where we can pass our different values. For example, Germany, comma, USA, comma, and the last one was France. So if I write France here and if I run it, this is how again the output looks like, which is exactly the similar. So if we have the similar column names and if we are using an OR operator to find different values that could be there, in that condition we can use in operator except for using OR operator again and again. Also similarly, if we write select everything from customers where we want all the details of the customer except for the customer who live in USA or Germany. So here we'll write where country, where not actually, so where not country equals USA or country equals Germany. And if I close this, I'll get the data of all the customers except from those who live in USA or Germany. And not Germany but Germany. Okay, so here we have the data over here. Okay, let me just also put this inside the brackets because Germany is being included here. Okay, now I believe that Germany is not here. Yes, these were the set of parentheses that we were missing. So country is USA or Germany. In that condition, we do not want its data. And we can use a similar approach for this, that instead of using this again, simply we can write, because for previous approach we had in, this time we will have not in, and again the set of parentheses followed by Germany, which needs to be kept inside the double quotations, and USA. If I run this again, where, okay, country not in, I missed the country here. So where country not in Germany or USA. So here we will get all the data except for those customers who live in Germany and USA. So this is how in operator and not in operator works. But for them, it is mandatory that whenever you are using it instead of OR operator, both the columns should be similar. So here, because it's country, both of them are country. Had one of them been country, other one would have been city. In that condition, we cannot use in operator. But if we have countries, also we can have like cities and city, not in something something. Yeah, that would work. But one country and one city would not work together. So this is how we can use in and not an operator in SQL. I hope after this session it is clear how we can use them in our SQL queries. For more such SQL related videos, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. Guys, string functions allows us to manipulate strings in the way we want. If we want to convert a string into uppercase, lowercase, or even if we want to extract some part of a string, or if we want to replace something from a string, we want to remove white spaces from a string, all these things can be done using the functions of the strings, and that's why in this video we are going to talk about functions which are associated with the strings. So let's get started, guys. So here, I'll take an example. In the classic models, we have been working on this data set where we have customers. If I open customers, this is how the customers data looks like. Now here we can see we have first name and also the last name. So say if I write select contact first name, and first F for first needs to be in capital, from the name of our table is customers. If we call this is the name of our customers. What if we want to find the length of the name of the customers in order to check whether there are white spaces or not? See, in that condition, what we'll simply do is we'll put a comma and use a length function. A length function allows us to check the length of any particular column. So if I copy this and paste it over here, and now if I run it, what we will notice over here is that we will get the length of the particular column. So here if I say Karine, Karine has Carine 6 letters, but here it's 7 mentioned. For another example, let's say Jonas. In Jonas, there should be 5 letters, Jonas, and here it's mentioned 6. That means there are white spaces in our data. How do we deal with these white spaces? See, what you can do, you can utilize trim function. Trim function allows you to remove white spaces. How do we make sure if trim is working properly or not? Let's have a look on that. See, what I'll do, I'll use trim and I'll apply it on contact first name. Okay, let's close it and run it. But how do we make sure if it is working properly or not? After applying trim, let's also apply the length function here. So if I apply the length function along with the trim function, and now if I run it, now you will notice what? That Karine has 6 letters, which is reflecting over here. And Jonas also has 5 letters. Previously it was 6, now it is 5. That means it has removed the white spaces. So if you have white spaces, whether in the starting of the string or even towards the end of the string, and you want to remove those white spaces, in that condition you can utilize the trim function. Now similarly, we have many more functions over here. For example, let's say if I want to convert the contact first name into upper cases, all I simply need to do is put a comma and write upper function. Upper function will convert our contact first name into all upper cases. So if I run it right now, you can see all the values have been converted into upper cases. Similarly, we also have lower cases. For that, you simply need to write contact first name again, and I'll write contact first name over here, and now if I run this, it will be converted into lower cases. So you can convert any string into upper or convert any string into lower as well. Similarly, we also have functions to extract something from the left of the string or from the right of the string as well. For example, see, here we have Karine, right? Carine. What if I want to extract first 2 letters of each name? In that case, I'll use a function called as left function. Left because it's on the left side of the string. So from the left side of the string, which string? The contact first name string. Okay, how many characters do I want to extract? I want to extract 2 characters. So if I close the bracket and run it, you will notice that first two letters of each word has been extracted over here. So this is how you can extract anything from the left hand side. So if I put 3 over here, it will extract 3 letters from the left. Similarly, if you want to extract anything towards the end of the string, you will utilize write function. In the write function, again I'll mention contact first name and I'll put 2 letters over here. And now if I run it, you'll notice what? That in carrying, okay, in carrying only alphabet E is over here. Why? Because we have not trimmed it. Carrying had white spaces, right? So if I put a trim function over here and now if I run it, you will notice what? That there are 2 letters over here. So you can trim the value and then you can extract the value from it if towards the end you have white spaces in your data. So you can utilize multiple functions all at a time. Similarly, we can also use mid function. If we want to extract some part from the middle of our data, then we can utilize mid function as well. How to do that? Let's have a look on that. We'll use mid function on what? Contact first name. We'll put 2 more parameters over here. First is from where do you want to extract your data. The second one is that from which alphabet or from which number you want to extract your data. Not alphabet but the number. So say I want to start extracting from the 3rd position. So we are talking about the position over here, that from the 3rd position I want to start extracting. So I'll say from the 3rd position. So in the case of Karine, I will start from R and I want 2 letters only, so I'll put 2 over here. So position and then number of characters. Name of the string, position and number of the characters. So first one is name of the string, that is contact first name. From which position you want to extract, that is 3rd position. How many number of characters do you want to extract? 2 characters. So that's why I've mentioned 2 over here. And now if I run this, you'll notice what? In the Karine we get RI. In the Jean we get AN, as A starts from 3rd position and then we have 2 characters only. If someone names only has 3 letters, for example, let me check if someone names has 3 letters only. There might Jan. Okay, Jan only had 3 letters. So you can see over here that only N is reflected over here. Add only had 2 letters. That's why there is no value over here. Okay. So similarly, you can see how we can extract from the middle of a string. Also, we can replace our values from a string as well. For example, let's say for any particular reason, my keyboard wasn't working and instead of E, I have put A everywhere and I want to replace E with A. Okay, so what I'll do to replace E with A, I'll say I'm going to use a replace function on what? On contact first name. Okay, on contact first name. And what do I want to replace? I want to replace E with which letter? With alphabet A. And now if I run it, you will see Karine has become Karina, Jean has become Jan, Peter has become Putter. Doesn't make any sense, but yeah, you can replace values as well in other context. Okay. Similarly, we can also utilize this function to join 2 columns as well. How? Let's have a look on that. So some string functions are like that. For example, if I call everything for now, that select everything from customers, and if I run this, I'll get all the data from our customers. Say I want to join contact first name and last name to make a full name. Okay, why? Because let's say later I want to find the number of employees over here by the help of name, or I want to see which employee is handling whom. See, if I sort down the first name, you'll notice that Leslie, 2 Leslies are here. One is Leslie Jennings, one is Leslie Thompson. If I only find the data, you can also see the same with Gerard over here. Okay, there are 2 Gerards over here. So if we only find the data based on first name, we will be confused that which employer we are talking about. So in order to join the first name and last name here, using our queries, we can utilize a function called as concat. How concat will work? Let's have a look on that. We'll say over here that select. Now I want 2 columns, the first column, first name and the last name. So we'll use this function called as concat. In the concat, I'll put the first name, comma, the last name. From the name of the table is employees. And now if I run this, you'll notice that both of them have been joined, and you will also notice there are no white spaces in our data. So in order to give the white spaces, we'll put a double quotes, put a space and put another double quotes, and you'll notice that every name now has a space between them. So this is how we can concatenate two of the columns as well by using concat function. Now if I want to join another column as well, let's say I want to join any other column, let's call it job title. I believe there was one column called as job title. Yeah. So Diane Murphy, she is the president, and Mary Patterson is a vice president sales. Then there is another guy who's vice president marketing, sales manager, and then we have sales representatives, right? So you can see we can join as many columns as we want. There is another function known as concat ws. See what concat ws will do. Let's have a look on that here only. I'll write concat. I'll also put a comma here. I'll write concat ws. Concat ws stands for concatenate with the separator. We want to concatenate, but we also want to put a separator over here. So first thing we'll do is define our separator so that we don't have to provide our separator multiple times. Now we can directly put our column names, that is first name, comma, last name, comma, job, title. And now if I run this, you will notice that we can directly put the name of our columns without putting the separator multiple times. All you simply need to do is define your separator first, then define the number of columns or the name of the columns that you want to put over here. So this is how concat or concat ws is different from each other. You cannot utilize concat ws if there are two different kind of separators over here. So suppose if this one had been a hyphen, okay, in that case it would have been better if we would have had used concat instead of concat ws. Okay, so this is how we can utilize string functions to do any manipulation related to the textual data in our database over here. I hope string functions are clear to you. We have talked about several string functions. Also, you can rename these columns. So any column that you want to rename, you can rename them. So if I want to give it as full name, I can give it a full name. And here also if you want to give it any name, you can just give it a name towards the end of the column, and it won't be a formula anymore as a header, but it will be a name that you have defined here. I hope that it is clear how we can utilize string functions in MySQL. Stay tuned guys, and for more such video, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. If you want to become a successful data analyst and want to join Wscube Tech's premium Data Analytics Mentorship program, then the applications for our second cohort is open. This mentorship program will be led by top industry mentors from Amazon, Rapido, KPMG and Microsoft along with Wscube Tech. Here we will be covering more than 20 projects in the entire course. We'll also provide you placement assistance in this program. So if you want to be the part of this cohort, then link to apply for the cohort is provided in our description. So apply now. And now let's get started guys. To find the aggregate values in our data like sum, maximum, minimum, count, we use aggregation functions in SQL. In our today's session, we will be discussing about how we can use it in different case scenarios. So let's get started guys. So for aggregating functions, I'm going to order details. In the order details, we have quantity ordered. We also have price each, and we also have quantity ordered. So if I want to find the total quantity that has been ordered over here, in that case, I will have to find the sum of it. In order to find the sum of it, I will be writing select. Here, I don't want everything. I just want the sum of quantity ordered. So that's why I'll be using a sum function. Sum of quantity ordered from, the name of our table is order details. And if I run this, okay, so there is no underscore in between, and if I run this, we have the output that the total sum of quantity that has been ordered is 1,05,516. This is how we can find the sum of quantity ordered. Similarly, if I want to find the sum of price each, I can find that. If I want to find the maximum price of something, like which product has the maximum price, for that let's move to products table. That here we have products table. In our products table, we want to find which product has the maximum price. So for that, here we will be writing select maximum of, so we have buy price and we have MSRP. So let's check for buy price first. So buy price, and we can also check it for MSRP as well, and maximum of, so let's put a comma in between, and maximum of MSRP from the name of the table is product. And if I run this, we have maximum of buy price is this much and maximum of MSRP is 214. Similarly, if we want to know how many total products are there, we can just put a comma and write count of product name, or you can also write product code as well. Total number of products that we have over here is 110. Similarly, you can find many more things about it. So suppose if you want to find the average value, then we can find the average as well. For example, again, let's go back to order details. In order details, we have quantity ordered, and if I want to find the average quantity that has been ordered, in that case, you can just write it over here as well, and you can write AVG, that is average of quantity ordered. Let's close the bracket, let's run it. So average quantity ordered is 35.2190. So these are some of the aggregating functions. If you want to find the sum, the average, the count, the maximum value, the minimum value, in that case we can use these aggregate functions. Similarly, while finding the average value, suppose we have an average value. If I want to round off this value, we can use some mathematical functions as well. So if I write round off this average and I want to round it up to 2 decimal places. So I'll write 2 over here, and if I run this, it will give me round off value by 2 decimal places. If you want it by 1, we can put 1 as well, and if you want it by 0, you can put 0 as well, and it will give you 35 instead of 35.2 or 22. So this is how we can use round function as well. Similarly, there are many more mathematical function as well. Suppose if you want, if I write over here seal, and if I don't write anything inside it, I'll just write seal here, and I'll remove this 0 from the end, and if I run this, seal will give me 36. Now what is 36? Previously we had 35, now it is 36. So why we were having 35 before is because the average was 35.22. That's why the round off value was 35. Now seal over here means rounding up. Rounding up means you are rounding it to the upper value. So 35.22 means it will be 36. And similarly, if you want to round it down, in that case we can use floor over here, FLOOR. And if I run this, it will give you 35. So these are some mathematical functions that you can also again use with the aggregate function as well, which you will see in many questions if you try to solve questions as well, whether it's on HackerRank or whether it's on lead code as well. You'll find such questions where they will ask you to round off the value up to 2 decimal places, or find the upper round off value or the lower round down value. So I hope after this session it is clear that how we can use aggregate functions. We can also rename them. So here the name is floor average quantity. So we can just write as average quantity and ordered. And if I run this, so now the name of the column is average quantity ordered, and similarly you can name the other columns as well. So here we have sum of quantity, so we can write total as total quantity ordered. And now let's run it. So we have total quantity ordered when we also have the average quantity ordered. So you can provide them names, and the names are not essentially to be this big. You can just write ABC as well. It is totally up to you that whatever you want to name, rename the column to. So I hope after this session it is clear how we can use aggregate functions, and for more such content, stay tuned guys. Thank you. If within the database, if you want to extract the name of the month, or if you want to extract hour, minutes, seconds from time, in that condition, date and time functions are used in SQL. In our today's session, we will be discussing about how these date and time functions can be used in SQL. So hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to Wscube Tech, as we are going to discuss about date and time functions today. So let's get started guys. So for date and time functions from this database, I'm going to orders. In orders, we have order date, required date, and we also have the ship date, that when the order was placed, when it was required from the vendor, and then when it was shipped. Okay. Similarly, if I want to extract, let's say, if I want to extract the months over here, let's say. Similarly, if I want to extract the months over here, in that case, I'll be using select order date, comma, month of, we need to find the month of order date from orders. And if I run this, you can see we have obtained the month numbers over here. Similarly, we have month name as well. So if I write month, we have month name, and if I provide the same order date inside it, and if I run it, this is how it looks like. So we can obtain the name of the month as well as the number of the month as well. We can also obtain the year in which year this order was placed. So similarly, so let's bring it to the next line, and over here I'll put a comma, and here from our order date. If I run this, so we can obtain the year as well. Similarly, you can also obtain the hour, or if you want to obtain the day, so we can obtain the day as well. So I'll just write day from order date, and let's put a comma over here. And we also have the day number, we also have the month number, month name, and also the year. Similarly, if you have time in your database, you can extract hours, minutes, or even seconds from those times. Also, you can find the differences between two dates as well. So here, if I call it again, so if I write select everything from orders, and if I run this, and instead of everything I've written 8. Okay, so here we have order date, required date, and ship date. I want to check that how much was the difference between the order date and the shipped date. So for that, I will be using select date difference. In date difference, we have order date, comma, shipped date from orders, and let's call it once again. Here we have the values, and the order should be shipped date minus order date, because shipped date is greater than order date. But you can do one more thing over here. We can use absolute function as well, so that it will convert all the negative values to the positive values. And if I run this, so all the negative and positive have been converted, and let's do it in this way. Like, I want everything, and in the end I want the date difference. So here we have the first shipped date as 10th, and the order date was 6th. The difference is of 4 days. Here we have 11th as shipped date minus 9 of January 2003. So it is the difference of 2 days. This is how we can find the difference as well. And if you don't want to use this absolute function, in that case you can just change this one to shipped date, and the second one would become order date. And if I run it again, this is how it looks like. So even if you ever get a negative value, you can just use absolute in front of it, and it will convert it into positive values. It won't do anything with the details, it won't do anything with the numbers, but it will only convert negative value to a positive value. So I hope how date functions are used, that is clear to you. Similarly, you can use time functions as well. We have hour, minutes, and seconds. So if you have data of time in your data, so in that case, you can use hour, minutes, and seconds. I hope there are no doubts and no questions on how we can use date and time functions in SQL. Stay connected, guys, for more such videos. Thank you. If you want to become a successful data analyst and want to join Wscube Tech's premium data analytics mentorship program, then the applications for our second cohort is open. This mentorship program will be led by top industry mentors from Amazon, Rapido, KPMG, and Microsoft, along with Wscube Tech. Here we will be covering more than 20 projects in the entire course. We'll also provide you placement assistance in this program. So if you want to be the part of this cohort, then link to apply for the cohort is provided in our description. So apply now. And now let's get started, guys. If you want to create a conditional column based on previous columns in SQL, in that condition, case operators are used. In our today's session, we will be discussing about how we can use case operators in SQL. So let's get started, guys. So here I have a data of employees. Here we have an employee name, employee ID, their name, gender, department, salary, country, city, and hire date. Now I want to give them bonuses based on their salaries. For example, if I write the query like this, that select, I want the name of the person, also I want their salary. The third thing I want is a bonus. So for a bonus, I need to create a new column, but this will be based on their salary. So let's say if someone has a salary of 50 to 60,000, which ranges between 50 to 60,000, they will be getting a bonus of 5%. So how would we write this is case, and I'll give a little indentation in the next line, that when salary, we have salary is greater than, or we can say salary is smaller than 60,000, then we need to create a new column whose value would be 5%. Okay, so 5%, then we need to write 5%, and because 5% is there, I'll be putting it inside double quotations. Okay, similarly, when the salary is greater than equal to 60,000 and salary is smaller than 70,000, then the bonus would be 10%. Okay, similarly, when salary is greater than equal to 70,000 and salary is smaller than 80,000, then we'll be giving them 15% of bonus. Lastly, we have else. So because I know my data, that my data starts from the salary of 56,000 and the highest value is 85,000, that's why the remaining would be what? For remaining, we will be putting 20%. Okay. Now we need to end this column name, because now we are ending this case operator. We will end this as, let's give it a name as bonus. We will not have to write it in double quotation. End is bonus from the name of our table is employees. We have also choose the name of the database, that is company. Let's run it, and here you can see, here first name is John Doe and he has a salary of 70,000, and we have written the one who has 70,000 to 80,000 will get a 15% of bonus. So your bonus is 15%. Similarly, Jean Smith has a 65,000 salary, that's why she has a bonus of 10%, and so on. We have all our values. The one who has 58,000 has 5% of bonus. So guys, this is how case operator works. That let me just select everything for you and let's beautify it. Also, let me reduce the font size here. Okay, so this is how it looks like. That here we have select, first thing that we are asking for is name, then salary. The third thing is we are giving a case operator, that when the salary is smaller than 60,000, then it is 5. When there is another condition, then it is 10%. When there is another condition, it's 15, and else it's 20%. And we are ending this column name as bonus, and then we will be calling it from our table employees. I hope this is clear how we can create a new column, and new column is a conditional column. So how we can create a conditional column in SQL based on our previous columns. And for more such SQL related videos, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. Group by function in SQL is used to create summary of a table. Similarly, just like how we have pivot tables in Excel, which helps us to obtain the insights of our data in a format of a summary, similarly, we have group by function in SQL, which allows us to generate summary of our data. In our today's session, we will be discussing about how we can use group by function to generate summary of our data. So let's get started, guys. So for this, first of all, I will be calling my data over here. Let's call our whole data. So I'm using this table which has the details of employees, and if I call the employees once again over here, this is how our data looks like. Now, if I want to know how much total salary is going in each department, so for that, I need to group by my data based on department. For that, the query that I'm going to write would look like this, that select. Now, we want department over here. So, department, comma. The next thing that we want is the total salary. So, for that, I'll be writing sum of salary from the name of our table is employees. So, if I close my data over here, if I close my query over here, and if I try to run it, it won't work for me. It will throw me an error. Why? Because department, there are several departments. We want to find the sum of this salary based on our departments. So, for that, we need to write group by department. And now, if I run this, you can see in the engineering department, the total salary which is going is 3,15,000. Then comes marketing. Then we have sales, HR, research, and finance. Similarly, you can order by this data as well. So, let's order it by sum of salary. Let's give it a name as TS. Let's call it TS, that is total salary. So if I order it by TS, this is how it looks like. Right now it's in ascending order. If you want it to be in descending order, you can also make it in descending order. So this is how we can find the sum of it. Similarly, if you want to find the average of salary, we can also find the average of salary. So here we have the average of salary, and I guess I have changed its name as TS. So this one is as TS, this one is as AS. Okay, AS. Okay, I have written as too many times. So AS I meant was average salary, but we can write average salary like this. Okay, and let's put it in another line as well. So this is how it looks like. We have department, we have total salary, and we also have the average salary. Similarly, let's call the data once again. Now I also want to get this data based on gender as well. So what I want is, I want to see the average salary distribution based on department and then on gender. Okay. So similarly, I will be writing my query like this, that first we have department, second is we have gender, and based on that I want to find the average of salary from the name of our table is employees. Now we will group by. So we need to group by both of our columns. So both of our columns, which is before our aggregating value, we need to group by based on both of them. So I'll be writing department. See, if I write only department and if I try to run it, it won't work for me. It will throw me an error. And even if I write only gender and if I don't write department, again it will not work. We need to write both of them, both the column names which is before the aggregate value. Okay. So here we will be writing department, comma, gender. Now if I run it, so in the engineering department we have males, and this is how the salary looks like. Marketing may we have female, and this is how the salary looks like. And then we have male, and then in HR we have female. Okay, we do not have much of males and females distribution. The data is too small for classifying it into males and females. So let's have a look on data once again. So if I talk about engineering, in engineering we have male, and here we have male, here we have male, and all of them are males. So there is no point of grouping by the data based on gender. What we can do is we can group by the data based on country instead. So instead of gender, let's take country. Okay, and then group by it based on country as well. Now if I run this, so we have engineering in USA, engineering department's average salary is 78,000, while in China it's 80,000. Similarly, we have marketing. For marketing in USA is 65,000, marketing in UAE is 73,000. So this is how we are getting average values based on department and then categorized with countries as well. You can again order by the data based on anything. So let's order by our data based on department this time. Okay. So first we have engineering in China, US. Then in finance, we only have Spain's data. In HR, we have US and UK and USA. In marketing, we have UAE, USA. In research, again, we have two countries. And in sales, again, we have two country names based on which we have the average salaries. So I hope guys that after this session, it is clear how we can group by our data. Always make sure that your non-aggregate columns should come before the aggregate column. Okay, they should never come after the aggregate column. So you cannot write department and average salary and then country. You need to write it department, country, and then average salary. And because we have given two columns which are non-aggregated, we need to provide the same number of columns and same columns in the group by section as well. So group by allows us to create the summary of our data. If we have our whole data and if we want to create a summary of our data, in that condition we use group by function. I hope how we can use group by function is clear to you, and for more such SQL related videos, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. If you want to become a successful data analyst and want to join Wscube Tech's premium data analytics mentorship program, then the applications for our second cohort is open. This mentorship program will be led by top industry mentors from Amazon, Rapido, KPMG and Microsoft along with Wscube Tech. Here we will be covering more than 20 projects in the entire course. We'll also provide you placement assistance in this program. So if you want to be the part of this cohort, then link to apply for the cohort is provided in our description. So apply now. And now let's get started guys. Just like how ice cream pairs very well with the brownie, similarly, having pairs very well with the group by function in SQL. In our today's video, we will be discussing about how we can use having clause with group by to retrieve insightful data from our database. So let's get started, guys. So in order to use group by, suppose here I have a question that query the countries where the count of customers is greater than 5, or we can say greater than equal to 5. Okay, this is what we have to do. So here if I call customers, this is how customer table looks like. We have countries over here, so we have all the countries. We also have customer number, which we can count based on countries. And as we have learned before in our previous videos about group by function, group by allows us to count values, to create aggregate values, to create summary of a table based on any aggregate function. So let's say if I want to call select country, comma, the next thing that I want is count of customer number. So count of customer number from customers group by. So we will group by this on the basis of country, and this is how it would look like. Now we have our data over here. Now because our question says that the count of customers should be greater than equal to 5. Now what we can do is we cannot use where, obviously. So suppose even if I try to write that where count of customer number should be greater than 5 or should be greater than equal to 5, then group by the country. If I run this, it would say that there is an error, and even if I group by and after that we write where clause, then it won't make any sense. So here you can see the error is also there. So here what we can do is we can use having clause, that having count of customer number. So we have count of customer number greater than equal to 5. Now let's run this, and you can see all the countries who have customer number greater than equal to 5. We have their details over here. We have France, USA, Australia, Germany, Spain and UK. So whenever you want to get a query, wherever you want to get an output, where you want the aggregate value, that too based on a condition, in that case we need to use having clause. We cannot use where over here. We will be using having clause. Similarly, we have products. If we go to products, if I call products, these are my products. We in different product lines we have different number of products. Let's say I want to query all the product line which has count of products more than or equal to 10. Okay, in that condition I'll be writing select product line, comma, count of product code from product group by. So we will group by this by the basis of product line, and then when the spelling of product line is wrong, so I'll just write it again, and product line. Now what do we need to do is we need to use having clause, because I want only those names which have products more than 10. So the having count of product code greater than equal to 10. If I run this, we have classic cars, motorcycles, planes, trucks and buses, and vintage car. You can also go for smaller than equal to 10. So we have ships and trains, like exact opposite data of this. And you can also rename the columns. So if you want, you can rename this as C. And instead of count of product code, you can just simply write having C smaller than equal to 10. And here again, you will have the output. So you can give any name to the column, and then again you'll have your output. If I put again greater than equal to, this is my output. And if you want to order it as well, so we will be using order by C. So we will have it in ascending order. Similarly, if you want descending order, we'll give it a descending order as well. So this is how having clause and group by work together. I hope after this session it is clear how we can use group by and having clause together. For more such SQL related videos, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. So first of all, let's talk about joins in MySQL. Okay, so joins are categorized into 5 categories over here. We will be talking about inner join first of all. Now what is inner join? Let's understand that. Suppose we have two tables. This is my table 1 and this is my table 2. If I want to join them together, then what inner join will give us? So this is my table 1, this is my table 2. If I join them together, it will give us the common data between them. So this is table 1 and this is our table 2. The common data between them is what will be the output when we will use inner join. Inner join allows us to get the common data between two tables. How does it work? Let's have a look on that. So I'll open a complete new tab over here and let's call everything from order details. So select everything from order details. Here we have data of ordered details which involves order number, product code, quantity ordered, each price and order line number. Similarly, if I open products, so here we have products and let me just call the table of products once again. So in products, what do we have? In products, we have product name, product line, product scale and rest of the things. Now, what if I want in here, because we have not been given the product name, what if I want the name of the product, its quantity ordered and its each price, okay? Or let's say just the name of the product and its quantity ordered, because when I see this data, I cannot see that what is this product that has been ordered 30 times or 50 times or 22 times, right? So if I want product name and in front of it, I want its quantity ordered, then how will I get it? Let's have a look on that. For that, here I will be writing select query. Now, I want to call the name of the product from our products table. Here in products table, we have product name. So let's write p dot product name. P dot product name over here. Here p indicates the name of the product which we are going to later rename it, or right now let's just write it whole. So I'll be writing products from products table, call product name, comma. From order details table, let's call quantity ordered. Okay. So we want these two columns. Next, what we want is from. Just like how we write our queries, that first of all we write select, then the name of the columns, then from and the name of the first table. So from, our first table is products. You can give any name first. Even if I write order details before, it won't throw any error. So from products, we will inner join. Inner join means we will be getting the common data. Okay. From which table? Order details. Inner join order details. Okay, now what is the common data between them? Because if we want to use a join, we should have something common in between them. This would be a primary key and a foreign key. So if I have a look at products, in products we have a primary key, that is product code. And if I go and have a look here in order details, we have product code again, but which is acting as a foreign key. Now what is a primary key and foreign key? Let's have a look on that as well. So a primary key is also known as unique ID. Okay, unique ID, just like your Aadhaar. Similarly, every person has a unique ID. Everyone's Aadhaar is different. But similarly, if your data is somewhere stored and you're, let's say, ordering something again and again, or let's take an example of Amazon. Let's say your Amazon customer ID is 001. Okay. When your data is saved over there, it's your customer ID. So let's call it CID. CID is this. Let's say name. So let's say my name is Ayushi. Okay. And let's say my other details are there. Let's say the name of my city, that from where I belong. Okay. And maybe my address is given and age and gender. Different things are given over here, so that all the information is stored over here in my customer data. Similarly, I have another table which is of orders. Okay, here we have orders. Now, let's say I have ordered something. Whenever I order something, not all my details will be displayed over there. Only my customer ID, that is 001. So 001 will be displayed. Let's say I have ordered a phone. Okay, whatever its price is, whatever its order number is, let's say 001 or let's say 10012. This is my order number. This will be displayed over here. Similarly, if any other person has ordered something, maybe 002, this guy has ordered, let's say, tablet. Okay, and 10013 is his order ID, and let's say I have again ordered something 001, and this time my phone, this time I have ordered, let's say, a case for my phone. Okay, so 10014 is my order ID. Now you can see, if I talk about customer table, this is my customer table. If I talk about my customer table, in my customer table, my customer ID will only display once, because if I am there So I am a unique person, okay? I am a unique person, and that 001, that ID has been given to me. It is a unique ID. But that same ID can repeat multiple times over here, which means that this time, this CID will be termed as foreign key. FK over here represents foreign key. That means it is a primary key in one table, and the same key is representing as a foreign key in another table, which again in a simple word means that in a customer table my name will appear only once, but if I order something, I will order multiple times, that time my customer ID will appear multiple times. That is the difference between primary key to foreign key. Now over here, if I talk about my database, here each product has a unique product code, but that same product has been ordered multiple times. Let's say if I arrange it in ascending order, this is S101678. S101678 has been ordered this many times by different person, and that too with different order number, right? So product code over here is acting as a foreign key, while at the same time in products table, product code is acting as a primary key, that means unique key. Now on the basis of this, let's come back over here. Now on the basis of this, on products, so where products dot product code is equal to order details dot product code. So where do we have to join our data from? Where both the keys are matching each other. So where S101678 over here matches with our products S1678. Okay, that is Harley Davidson Ultimate Chopper. So wherever these product code matches each other, there we have to obtain this join. And if I run this, here's how our data looks like. That here we have the product name, and in front of it we have the quantity ordered as well. If you want to call any other column as well, let's say I want to also call products dot product code. Okay, so let's put a comma as well, and here we have product name, product code, and quantity ordered as well. If I arrange it in ascending order, that 1678 is Harley Davidson Ultimate Chopper, and you can check it from here as well. So if I go to products, in products we have Harley Davidson Ultimate Chopper on product ID as 1678. Similarly here again we have 1678 where the name of the product is Harley Davidson Ultimate Chopper and the quantity ordered is 30. So this is how we are getting the output when we want to merge two of the tables. In that case we use joins, and inner join specially over here will give us the common details over here. And if I beautify it, this is how it looks like. That select products dot product name, products dot product code, order details dot quantity ordered from products, inner join order details on the basis of what? Where products dot product code matches with order details dot product code. Okay. Similarly, if I talk about left join, so here, let's come back over here and I'll just erase all of this data and let's just keep the joins only. So if I talk about first inner join, this is how our data would have looked like. That if we have two tables, then the common data between them is the output from inner join. Now next is left join. What does left join do? Let me also explain it to you over here with the help of a Venn diagram. So if we have again table 1 and table 2 which we are joining, and if we have used left join, what left join will do? It will give you all the data from the left table. So T1 over here is a table which is on the left hand side. So all the data from T1, also including the common data which is there in table 2. Okay. So all the data from the first table which matches with the data in the second table. Not all the data from second table, but only the matching data which is there in second table. We will be obtaining that with the help of left join. Okay. So if I write the query, the statement remains the same. So the statement over here, it remains the same. Only I have to do is use left join instead of inner join. So if I run this, again I will have the similar output because I do not have any null values in my data. Have you had null values? If you would have had null values, in that case you might have received null over here. That means product name, product code. You will receive all the data from products table, because product table has been returned first. The table which has been returned first, that is the table on the left. The table which has been written later, it is the table on the right. Okay. So this is how left join works. Similarly, we have right join. So if you can guess, it is correct that in right join, the Venn diagram looks like this. So if we have table T1 and T2, all the data from our right table, also the data which is common, that will be the output from our right join. Okay. So for the right join, again, you do not have to do anything. You just need to go over here and change it to right join. Let me just write it once again. And we have right join. Now what right join will do? All the details, all the data from order details, it will be there. And whatever matches with the product will be there. If something does not matches with the product, in that case, null will be returned over there. So this is what right join is. Lastly, let's talk about cross join. So what cross join will give you is all of the data, both from table 1 and from table 2. So this is table 1 and this is our table 2. So you'll be getting all the data from table 1 and also from table 2. How does cross join work? Let's have a look on that with another query. So here, if I open customers data, if I want all the name of everything from the customer tables, also I want everything from the employee table. Okay. So for that, what I'll do, I'll just write select customers. Now I will write just C instead of customers. So C dot everything, comma. We also want everything from our employee table. So E dot everything, everything from the employee tables. From the name of our first table is customers. Let's call customer as C. We need to use a cross join over here. So cross join. The name of our second table is employees. Employees. Let's name it as E, because we have written E dot everything, C dot everything. That's why we are renaming them as C and E. Okay. Now what is common between them? In here, as you can see, we have sales representative employee number. And also, if we go to employees, in employees, let's call the employees table once again. In employees, we have employee ID. Okay, this is some wrong data. Okay, we are calling it from company.employees. Let's call it from here. Select everything from employees. Okay. So in employees data, we have employee number. In customer data, again, we have sales representative employee number. Both of them contains employee number, but the name of the column is different. Okay, the values are similar, but the name of the column are different. This can happen in a lot of case scenarios as well with you. Okay, this generally doesn't happen, but in this case, it is happening that name of the columns are different, but the values are similar. So I'll be joining them on the basis of where C dot sales representative employee number is equal to E dot employee number. There we have to use this join, and if I run this query, here this is how the output looks like. So we have everything from our table 1. So let's say this is Mini Gifts Distributors Limited. Okay. Here from employee 2, who is handling him? This customer is being handled by Leslie. Again Leslie, then Julie, then Steve, then some of the customers are handled by Fonyu. Okay. And then George and Louis and Gerard. Okay. So this is how we are getting all the data from table 1 and table 2. So I hope this is clear how we can use cross join. Cross join will give you all the data from table 1 and table 2, even though if it has to repeat. Why it is repeating over here is because, let's have a look on that. That here employees, we only have these many employees. We have what, around 27 employees here. And if I talk about customers, we have around 122 customers. Now each employee is handling at least 4 to 5 customers. That's why over here, whoever is being handled by Leslie, their name is coming first. And then we have Julie. Then we have Steve and then Fonyu and then so on. So I hope after this cross join is also clear to you. So in summary, if I talk about inner join will give you a common data. If I talk about left join will give you all the data from the left table and the matching data from the right table. If I talk about right join will give you all the data from the right table and the matching data from the left table. Cross join will give you all the data from both the tables. Lastly, if I talk about self join, there is one more join that we need to talk about, that is self join. Now let's understand how self join works. Self join means when we want to join something in the same table. Let's say here we have the name of the customers. So let's call, instead of employees, let's call customers. Okay. So here we have the name of the customers. Okay. Now what self join will do? Self join will create a duplicate of itself. How it will create a duplicate of itself is, we will write select. Let's name the first duplicate as table 1. Let's imagine the first duplicate as table 1 and let's imagine the second duplicate as table 2. Now from T1 we want customer names. Basically I want the name of all those customers who are from the same city or let's say same country. Okay. So customer name, comma. I also want T2 dot customer name. Also I want their country name. Okay, so let's call it from any of the table because both of them are duplicates only. So T1 from T1 dot country. From the name of our first table is customers, but we are calling it as T1, and the name of our second table. So let's write self join, or we can just write join as well. Now because we want to self join over here, we'll just write join, or we can write inner join as well. Self join does not have a specific term for itself, but in inner join over here is again self join. When the table is joining from itself, that is self join. So from customers, let me write the name of the customers properly. So customers as T1, let's join the other table, that is again customers as T2. Now where do we have to join it from? What is common between them? On T1 dot country matches with T2 dot country. Okay, if I run this, okay, so the error says the name of the customer is not written properly, so I have a spelling mistake. Let's run it once again, and here this is how our output looks like, that auto canal plus petit, wherever the country is France, it is joining the data from itself. Okay, so this is how our data looks like, but outlier graphic again is coming in front of each other. If we don't want the name of the same customers to come in front of each other, in that case we can also write on T1 dot country is equal to T2 dot country, but where T1 dot customer number is not equal to T2 dot customer number. Now what this will do, because we have the customer's name in front of each other, the same customer name, that means outlier graphic on the left table and outlier graphic from the right table, they are also matching, right? They are also from France, but they are two different tables and we have similar customer number. So I am saying that wherever the customer number is similar, just don't show that data, rest you can show all the data wherever the countries are matching. So here we will run the query again, and here with the outlier graphic we do not have the outlier graphic written once again with us. So this is how self join works basically. When you want to join the data in the same table itself, in that case self join is used. Majorly you will be working on inner join, left join, right join. In analytics I haven't seen much questions with self join and cross join, but again they are useful, so you need to learn about them as well. I hope after this session the concept is clear, that what is inner join, left join, right join, cross join and self join. So for more such SQL related videos, follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you.
If you want to become a successful data analyst and want to join Wscube Tech's premium data analytics mentorship program, then the applications for our second cohort is open. This mentorship program will be led by top industry mentors from Amazon, Rapido, KPMG and Microsoft along with Wscube Tech. Here we will be covering more than 20 projects in the entire course. We'll also provide you placement assistance in this program. So if you want to be the part of this cohort, then link to apply for the cohort is provided in our description. So apply now. And now let's get started guys.
whenever you want to join two tables or whenever you want to find the common data or the difference between the tables which contain similar kind of data, in that case, set operations in MySQL are used. And in our today's session, we will be discussing about that. So guys, we have studied about joins. Joins allows us to join two of the tables with different data but one single similar column. But what if we have tables which have similar columns? For example, here I have one data of a mart. It's an e-mart. And here if I open February orders, we have order ID, product code and order date. Also, if I open January orders, here again we have order ID, product code and order date. While we are analyzing it, we are not going to analyze them differently, but what we can do is we can join both of them together because they have similar columns. Now, here we cannot use joins. In this case, what we can do is we can use unions. Why we cannot use join over here is because the order ID over here is 1 to 20. In the February, the order IDs are, okay, we have two duplicate values. And then it starts from 21 to 40. So yes, because of the difference in the order IDs, we cannot join them together. But what we can do is we can apply set operations over them. How to do it? Let's have a look on that. So here, I'll be writing select everything from the name of our table is. So let me just write it once again. Select everything from the first table is January orders, right? Okay, if I call this, here I'll get my January orders, but what if I want to join February orders over here as well? In that case, I'll write union select everything from February orders. Okay, now if I call it, it will give me data from January, also data from February as well. As you can also see over here that after 1920 it is really 21. That means the duplicate values are not here. Union is not allowing duplicate values. But what if we want to duplicate values as well? See, in that case scenario we can use union all. Instead of union we can use union all if you want to obtain the duplicate values as well. So here it will go 1 to 20 and also it will have 1 and 2 which was there in the February orders which was a duplicate value. So if you want to keep the duplicate values, use union all. If you do not want to keep any duplicate value, you can use union as well. This is a case scenario which is only possible if we have two tables and both of them have similar kind of data. That means the column names are similar over here and the data that is there inside them is of similar kind, not the same data. I'm not saying that data should be same. Here because the orders are from January, the month here is January. Here because the orders are from February. We have data from February. Okay, but the columns are similar. Here on both the tables we have order ID, product code and order date. In February as well we have the same date. So in that case we cannot use join, but we can use set operations like union all. Now union or union all is different. Union allows us to remove the duplicate data in both the table. Union all allows us to view the duplicate data as well. So I hope it is clear how we can use union or union all. Similarly, we also have intersect. Intersect, if I run this, it would give me the common data. Intersect will give me the common data between both of them. So in between both of them, the common data is 1 and 2. These two order IDs are the common data. Similarly, I have except all the data from table 1 which is not there in table 2. So except from order 1 and order 2, all the data in table 1 is not there in table 2. Okay. All the data from table 1 which is not there in table 2. This is what except will give us. So this is how except works. I hope this is clear to you. Not just this, with this we can do a lot of things as well. As of now, as you can see, if I use union over here, I obtain all the data from both the tables. Now even if I want to view price over here, let's say I want to view the product name and their prices with the order IDs as well. Okay. So what in that case, what do I need to do? Let's have a look on that. So here I'll be writing select because we need product code. So the name of this table, let's give this table a name. So the name of this table would be, let's call it A. Okay. So select A dot, we need product code, comma, and from the products table, we also have a products details table which contains the name of the product and their price. Okay. So what we can do is, let's come back here. Let's say we need product code. We need the product price as well, which is here in product details. And let's say we also want the product name. Okay. Or instead, let's do one thing. Let's take order ID instead, because product code is already there. So let's pick a dot order underscore ID, comma, product details dot product code or product name. Do we have product name? Let me just check what is, okay, we have product name. So product details has product name, comma, product details dot price. Okay, these are the three columns that we need from. This is how we join that. From the name of our table 1 is this A, join table B, which is our table B. Our table B is product details. Okay. So we are joining our products table with the union of these two products, these two tables, that is January table and the February table. That means the January and February orders. Okay. Join product details on. So on what basis we will be joining them? In both of them, product code is common, as we can see. In here also we have product code, and in here also we have product code. So in A dot product code is equal to product details dot product code. Okay, let's run and see what happens. As you can see, now we have obtained order ID, we have also obtained the product name, and we have also obtained the price. Similarly, you can group by it and get the sales as well. So if we don't want orders, let's say, so we can group by it and we can obtain these as well. We can obtain the product prices as well based on product orders as well. So I hope this thing is clear, that how we can use union and how we can use joins along with union. So union is used, or set operations are used, when you have similar kind of tables and if you want to join them and analyze them all together. And with the union, you can also use join to join in the other tables as well. I hope you like this video, and for more such SQL related videos, follow our channel Wscube Tech. First of all, let's start with an example. That let's say we have customers data and we also have the orders data. Or let's take a simpler example. Let's say we have products table. In the products table, we have the product code, and based on that, we have different product names and product lines. Alright. Similarly, let's say in our order details data, we have product code, quantity ordered, price of each. The question here is name of top 5 products. Okay. Based on whatever topics we have covered so far, we haven't covered the window functions and rank functions here. So based on whatever points we have, whatever topics we have covered so far in this course, we want to find the top 5 products based on orders. Okay. So based on orders. In order to do so, what we need the name of the product. So as an output, we only need the name of the product, right? We don't need the quantity ordered, but the top 5 products. Okay. So first of all, what do? We'll do select product dot product name, comma, because we want the total orders. So we'll be finding the sum of order details dot quantity ordered over here from the name of our table is products. Join the second table, that is order details, on the basis of what? On the product dot product code is equal to order details dot product code. Now once this is done, because we have utilized sum over here, we need to group by our data. So in order to group by, we'll write group by on the basis of what? Product dot product name, right? So if I run this, this is how my output would look like. Okay. Even if I arrange it in the descending order, say order by the orders. So let's call it orders, order by orders in descending. So we'll be having descending, and even if I put limit 5 over here, I'll get the product name and their orders, but what I simply want is the product name. I don't want the orders. I simply need the product name of top 5. Right. Now, how do I get that? In order to do so, you can put the limit here itself, or you can utilize it outside as well. Let me first put it here. Let's say that from this table, I only want the product name. From the table that we have retrieved by writing this particular query, I only want the table name. In order to do so, I'll include this query inside a bracket, give it a name. Let's give it a name as A. Simply as A. You can give any name. Now, from this table, the A table which we have created by utilizing this particular query, let's say that we want to select product name, comma, and actually only product name from A. So A is nothing but this table. So here, well, instead of writing A, I'll pass this entire query as a subquery of a table. And now if I run this, I'll simply only get the product names over here of the top 5 products. So this is how you can utilize subqueries when you want to find any particular data from a particular table which needs to be created using a query only. That time we utilize subquery. Another good example would be, let's say I want to find the name of the customer with the, or let's say I just want to find the second smallest credit limit. What I want to find? Second smallest credit limit. See, if you will say that select credit limit from customers, order by credit limit, because we want the smallest, right? This is how I get my data. If I order by it based on credit limit, this is my data. But when I say that, okay, limit will be 1, 1, which is nothing but skip the first row and then return the second row, it will not give me the correct output as it is not the smallest credit limit. The smallest credit limit over here would be this one, second smallest actually, that is 11,000. The smallest one is 0, the second smallest is 11,000. So how do I get this? See, with the help of subquery, you can do this. There is another way also to do this. That is, you can utilize distinct over here, distinct credit limit, and you'll get the distinct values, and then you can pass limit 1, 1. This is one way of doing it. If I show you a way utilizing a subquery, let's see how we can do it. We can say that I want the minimum of credit limit from my customers, right? So if I do this, this is the minimum. How do I get second minimum? Other than 0, whatever is our data, from that I want minimum value, right? Other than 0, whatever our data is. So what I'll do, I'll say that where my credit limit is smaller than this entire query. See, select everything when we are saying that, let me include, yeah. Okay, I'll also put this inside in the next line so that it's easy. Now it is better. So here, what it is saying that select the minimum of credit limit from the customer where our credit limit is smaller than the minimum value. So basically what we are doing, we are already giving the minimum value over here, right? That we are already giving the minimum value over here, and the value which is minimum than minimum, actually which is greater than the minimum value, would be 11,000. We need to find the credit limit from the data where the credit limit should be greater than 0. If I say, instead of writing this, if I put 0, it will still give me the same output. So instead of putting 0 manually, that is our smallest credit limit, what we can put? The entire query which helped us get the credit limit. So if you want to try something like this, I'll give you a suggestion that try to find, I'll give you a question which you guys need to try and answer its solution in the comment box, okay? So query all the product lines with their percentage distribution to the total sales. So basically we want to find the total product lines with their percentage distribution to the sales. For example, let's say if classic cars is there, it has given the total percentage distribution of, let's say, 40%. Then it should show 40% in front of it, not the sales, but that it is 40% of the entire sales. And I want you all to try subquery for this. For achieving this, try to write subquery and comment down the answer of this particular question, that how you can get the product lines and in front of them their percentage distribution to the sales. I hope you guys have no doubts in the question on how subquery works.
In our upcoming sessions, we are going to talk about more such videos, so stay tuned guys and follow our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. If you want to become a successful data analyst and want to join Wscube Tech's premium data analytics mentorship program, then the applications for our second cohort is open. This mentorship program will be led by top industry mentors from Amazon, Rapido, KPMG and Microsoft along with Wscube Tech. Here we will be covering more than 20 projects in the entire course. We'll also provide you placement assistance in this program. So if you want to be the part of this cohort, then link to apply for the cohort is provided in our description. So apply now. And now let's get started guys.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Wscube Tech. My name is Ayushi Jain. And guys, in our today's video, we are going to talk about window functions in MySQL. Guys, what are window functions? Let's first understand that. Guys, window functions allows us to create a window around our data. Based on that, we can give it rank, we can put league, lat. There are so many functions that we can utilize. Even we can utilize the basic aggregate functions along with creating a windows around them. Pretty confusing, right? Let me show you an example to help you understand window functions more clearly. First of all, let's say if I write you a question that write a query to obtain. Okay, so suppose this is the data. Now if I want to get the output of this data, like this is the question that we have to write a query based on customer name. We need to obtain customer name, the country of that customer, we need their credit limit and also the average of credit limit by country. See, if I utilize group by for this, what will I say? I'll say select what we want is customer name, right? Second we want is country, third we want is the credit limit, fourth we want is the average of credit limit from customers, group by. But see, as soon as we put group by, we know that whenever we utilize group by, we need to pass all the columns that are mentioned over here. So we need to group it based on each and every column that is mentioned here. But that wouldn't give us the average based on the country, right? This is not the average based on country. This is the exact same value of the credit limit only, because the group by is being done based on customer name, based on country, based on credit limit, and then we are getting the average values. So how do we get the average value based on country? See, for this, we can utilize the window function which I was talking about, that it will create a window around country and based on country, we'll get the average. How? Let's have a look on that. I'll utilize the very same query that I'll say that select customer name, comma, country, comma, credit limit. Last we want is the average of the credit limit, but we need to make sure that this average is based on country. So I'll give a parameter over here that I'll say over, I'll use an over function, over the partition over here needs to be done by country. So the partition will be based on country, and let's write the name of the table from customers. We do not have to put any group by, and as soon as I run it, I have my output that the average of Australia is 86,060. The average of Belgium is for 51,700. If you want, you can cross check it as well. Suppose if you want to just check it as well. Let's write select country, comma, average of credit limit from customers, group by country. You can see right now the average is 86,060, right? If I run this, and if I go to Australia, the Australia's credit limits average is 86,060. Belgium, it is 51,700. And this is what we are getting from this output, that we are getting the average of credit limit based on country, but also the other columns at the same time. So we can define that if we want to use an aggregated function only based on one particular column, we can utilize window function for this. What window function is basically doing over here is it is creating a window around your country partitions. That means whenever it's Australia, it's creating a window around it. Along with that, it is providing based on it is providing average based on that particular country. When it is any other country, for example, France, for France, the average is 77,691. We can now compare the value as well. That okay, the average is this, but this particular customer's credit limit is 21,000. This particular customer limit is 1,18,000, which is pretty higher from our credit limit, average credit limit. Okay. So this is how we can utilize window functions where we can use average over here. Similarly, there are more ways to use it. For example, let me open a new query, and in here if you remember, we have orders table. In the orders table, we have been given order date over here. Based on the order date, let's say I want to find the sum or the total sum of the revenue that we are getting. Okay. So for that, I'll say select order date, comma, we want revenue. Revenue is nothing but what do we need to find? The sum of, from our order details table. We know that if we go to order details table, in the order details table, we have quantity and price. If we multiply quantity with price, we get the sales value, and if we find the sum of it, we'll get the total sales basically, right? So sum of order details dot quantity ordered multiplied by order details dot price each, right? If we pass this, press enter. From first table is orders, and let's also mention that we are calling this one from orders dot order date. First table is orders. Let's join order details, and now we need to provide the common column between them. So order number is something that is here, and if I go to order details, it's here as well. So for that, I'll write on orders dot order details. Actually, order number is equal to order details dot order number. Because we have utilized some function over here, we need to group our data. So let's group by our data based on the sales that we have found out over here. Based on sales. Okay. So subquery is something that we have not learned so far, right? So let's call it sales. And if I actually not sales but the order date, orders dot order date. Okay, if I call this is how my output would look like, that these are the sales we are getting on different days, right? Now we know that we have utilized subqueries before. Subquery is nothing, a query inside a query. For example, if I create this is my query. Let's call it as A. So this is my A query. From the A query, let's say, what do I want? I want my order date. Okay. Because from this column, if I do not call it as A, and if I directly run this, okay, let's ignore the previous query. Let's run this one. This is the order date that we are getting along with the sales. What we are trying to find over here is the cumulative sales. Cumulative sales means the sales that keeps on increasing by the day passes, as it is the sales till that day. For example, till 10th of January, how much is the sales that someone has done? Till 31st of the January, how much sales they have made. So it would be nothing but the addition of all the values till 31st. If I say that on 14th November 2023, how much was the total sales, it should give me the total of all the values till 14th November. In order to do so, what we'll say, we want the sum of sales, but this should be over order by order date. And now we need to give from, instead of this, we'll put this from, our table name is A. So basically, I'll create a bracket here. Let's call it A. If I run this, you'll notice what? Let me also call sales so that it will be more easier. Okay. Let me just show the output to you. See, on 6th of January, the total sales was 10,000. Okay. On 9th of January, the sales was 10,549. That means the addition of both the values will be 20,772. Till 31st, there had been multiple sales, that on 29th there was a sale of 50,000, on 31st there was a sale of 40,000. So till 31st, the total sales that our company has made was of 1,16,692.
So guys, this is how you can find the cumulative sales. Now let's understand the concept that we have used over here. Here we have said that we have created a table. Based on that table, we have find the sum of sales over the order by date. That means we need to find the sales, but it should be ordered by ascending order based on order date. So if I talk to you even more briefly, that when we are saying partition by, if I'm writing partition by, okay, based on partition by, it is creating partition. For example, if we have several departments over here, sales is there, HR is there, two people are from HR, or let's say three people are from HR. It's creating a window because it is creating a partitions over here. So the partitions are created by a window over here, which is based on, let's say, department, right? Let's say if I put order by date. Okay, order by date would be nothing but based on date, we'll be getting the ascending or the descending order. So now the partitions over here, when I say it is 1st Jan, 2nd Jan, 3rd Jan, 4th Jan, what it is doing, the first partition is this, second one is this, third one is this. So basically it is finding the sum based on your ascending order of the date. Okay, fourth partition would be this. So it's creating again a window, but every time the window is increasing by the ascending order of our data. So this is what order by means. You can utilize partition by and order by together as well in the over function again. So here you can utilize partition by if you want to give a partition based on any particular parameters of a column, like country it is there, or let's say departments are here, product lines are there, or let's say any other category is there. In that case, you can utilize partition by. Wherever we are talking about dates, in that case you can utilize order by. So whenever we are talking about dates or any particular number which needs to be in the ascending order, and based on that you want to find the sum, this is what it is doing. When we say that we want to find the sum of sales over order by, what do we want to find? We want to, if I erase this basically, so what we have written over here is we want sum of sales. Sum of sales should be there, but it should be over order by date, right? Order date basically. So our first one would be the sales of January. Our second one will be the cumulative sales of 1st and 2nd January. Our third one will be a cumulative sales of 1st January, 2nd January and 3rd January, and so on. The cycle keeps going on till we reach towards the end. So even if I show it to you in MySQL, this is how it would look like towards the end. So if I scroll it down, our overall sales is of 96 lakhs, 4,190. And if I talk about any date in the between, let's say if I talk about this one, it's 18th of November 2003. By 18th of November 2003, we have made a total sales of 27 lakhs 35,921. So cumulative sales is something that is often a kind of a question which is asked in the field of analytics. So yeah, this is how you can find cumulative sales by utilizing window functions. There are more to window functions, like you can utilize rank function, lead or row number or dense rank as well. Let me give you a small examples of those as well. So say here we have select everything from customers. Okay, I want to rank all the customers so that I can, let's say, find top 5 values. Okay, how will I find top 5 values based on the least credit limit? So say I want to find the bottom 5 value or the top 5 value. What you'll simply say that, okay, say that you want the customer name, okay, and you want the credit limit from customers. You want that, right? You'll say that you can order by this data, order by based on credit limit, and it should be descending, and you can put a limit of 5. So this will give you the top 5 value which it is giving, right? We are getting the top 5 values. If you check our data, these are the top 5 values based on credit limit. But what if I want bottom 5 values? See, in case of bottom 5, you can see all the values are 0. But is it true?
No, when we say that people who have the bottom 5 credit limit, we want their data, not everyone is on 0. If I say that I want the bottom 5 marks from a class, that doesn't mean that what whoever students, let's say 4 people are there on 30 marks. So we won't say that these are the 4 people that are there on the 30 marks and they come in the category of bottom 5, and then there is only one more student over there who also comes in the category of bottom 5. All the people, let's say if I do not put the credit limit only, all the people who are on 0, 11,000, 21,000, 23,000, and 23,500, all the people on these credit limits should be considered as bottom 5. Now, how do we get that? In order to do so, we'll give a rank over here. How? Let's also have a look on that. That based on our credit limit, okay, based on our credit limit, we'll say I want to give a rank. Okay, rank over what? Over order by credit limit. Okay, over order by credit limit. If I close this and run it, you will now notice you'll get the ranks. Whoever is on 0 credit limit has a rank of 1. Whoever is on a rank of on a credit limit of 11,000 has a rank of 25. Now, why it is 25 if we are utilizing rank function? See, what rank does is it skips the value. Suppose if there are 5 people, okay, let me show it to you with the help of an example. That suppose there are 5 people, A, B, C, D, and E. The marks of A is 10, the marks of B is 20, the marks of C is also 20, the marks of D is 35, and the marks of E is 35 again. F is also 35 and G is 40. Okay, my G looks weird, but fine. Okay, these are the students that we have. If we give the rank, if we utilize the rank function, how the rank function will work, that it will give first rank to this one if we have ordered it by in the ascending order. It will give the first rank to this person, second to this, second to this. But since it has given second rank to 2 people, the next rank would be fourth, and also fourth. But since it has given 4 to 3 people, so fifth and sixth will be skipped, and the next rank would be 7. This is how rank function works, that it skips the value based on the number of people it has given the same rank to. While if we utilize, this is rank function. Okay, what if we utilize dense rank? There is one more function called as dense rank, which I'll be applying on the data as well. What does dense rank will do? It will give 1, 2, 2, but 3, 3, 3, and 4. This is how dense rank will work, and this is what we want over here in our data. So let's apply that. If I go over here and apply dense underscore rank and now run it, you will notice what, that okay, everyone on 0 is getting first rank, everyone on 11,000 is getting second, and then third, and then fourth, and then fifth. Now we can say whoever has a rank of less than 5, less than equal to 5, are our bottom 5 customers, okay, with the bottom 5 credit limits. So this is how you can utilize the rank function. Rank function gives us the values, and if people who are on same numbers get the same ranks, where rank skips the value and dense rank does not skips the value. This is how again we can utilize window function. And if you want me to give you the bottom 5 values as well, let me show how you can get it. So here, as we have named it, let's call this rank as Rn. Okay, this is how my data would look like. Now I'll utilize a subquery and say that from here I want the customer name, I want the credit limit from customers, from not actually customers, but from this table which we have created utilizing a subquery. Let's name it as A, and then let's give the where operator, that from A where the value of our Rn should be less than equal to 5. Now if I run this, so wherever my value was less than equal to 5, that was still only 23,500. We are getting the data till there only. If you want to check, you can utilize Rn as well over here. And now if I run this and show it to you, Rn is still 5 only, because this is what the condition is there that we have given over here.
We have selected customer name, credit limit, also rank function which we have created using this particular query, and then we have given a condition that where your rank value is less than equal to 5, from there we want our data. You can go for opposite as well, like if I go for order by credit limit, in descending order we'll get the top 5 values. These are the people who are top 5. Previously we were finding bottom 5 and they were giving rank based on the ascending order of credit limit. Now if we want to give on the descending order, here we need to change it, that give the rank, give the dense rank, but based on order by of credit limit, which should be in the descending order. So yeah, this is how you can utilize dense rank function. Similarly, you also have a row number function. Row number just gives a row number to each row in your data. For example, if I have select everything, or let's only call customer name, comma, the credit limit, comma, if I call a function called as row underscore number, I want to apply this row number on our anything, let's call it customer name only, or you can go for credit limit as well. Okay, so I want it to be on over order by credit limit. From the name of our table is, okay, over should be written outside. So from name of our table is customers. So it won't do anything else, but it will just give the row number to each row in your data. As you can see, if I show you the output, it will simply give the row number to each data. That means if there are 122 customers, there will be 122 rows. So every row has been given a unique number over here by using the row number feature here. Okay, so you can utilize row number as well. There is also lead and lag. What is lead and lag? Let's also understand that with the help of very same query. That if I select customer's name, credit limit, and here if I pass a lead of on which column, let's call it credit limit by 1 and over order by credit limit or over any order. If I run this, you will notice what, that your next credit limit is right in front of you. So your next credit limit is 11,000. 11,000 is right in front of you. So you can compare the consecutive values, like the value that is just above you or just below you. If you want to compare your value, a value just before you, a value just after you, you can utilize lead or lag for that. So here we have utilized lead for this. There's an option for lag as well, which will give you the previous value right in front of you. And if you put a lead of 2, it will give you your next to next value. Just like here, we have a 0 credit limit and our next value is 11,000. We have a 0 credit limit, next value is 21,000. And that's how we have our data. There are several other different types of functions as well in the window function. So you can just try them one by one and see how their use cases changes from question to question while practicing it on platforms like LeetCode or HackerRank as well. I hope you guys have no doubts and no questions so far, and in our upcoming sessions we are going to talk about more such MySQL concepts. I hope you like this video, and for more such analytics related videos, subscribe to our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. CTE stands for Common Table Expressions, and in our today's video we are going to talk about CTEs in MySQL. So hello everyone and a very warm welcome to Wscube Tech. My name is Ayushi Jain. And as we discussed, today we are going to talk about common table expressions. Common table expressions or CTE, they allows us to create queries in multiple table which is temporary in that particular query, and then we can utilize it to get more data. For example, let's say in our subqueries section, we have talked about this particular query where we got data something like this. If you remember, this is how our data would look like. If I run this, that I have basically products and product names, and based on that I have their order details with quantity ordered and their sum which is grouped by the product name. For this I have utilized a simple query that I have selected products.product name, also their quantity ordered from products, and I have joined them with the order details by utilizing product code from both the tables. Now I have grouped by them by using product name.
So this is my one query. What if I want to convert it to a table that is temporary in this particular query? For that, I can utilize common table expression. I can start with a as and call it a table. I simply need to do this, and what it will do, it will convert this table as a, and now from this a table I can call anything. Like for example, from here I want to call product names. So I'll simply call product name from a limit 5. If I run this, I'll get the top 5 product names over here, which you can see based on the data that was given over here. Okay, so this is how our query works. And if you want to order it by the orders as well, order by orders in descending order, and then put a limit of 5, you'll get the top 5 products with the highest of orders. So this is how you can utilize the common table expression, where you can create a table or a query, call it a table, and from that table you can utilize any columns as you want. For example, let's say for each customer I want to find how much of payment, how much of sales they have given us, at the same time how much amount they have paid, like how much of the sales they have given us is will be here in order details. As you can see, in order details we have quantity and price each of each order number, and this order number from the orders is now connected with customer number, and customer numbers is in customers table. So what I basically want, that I want customers sales, basically that how much sales that person has given us. In order to do so, I'll say that select from the customers table I want the customer name, comma, and from the order details table what I simply want is the quantity ordered multiplied by order details dot price each, that means price of each product. Okay, what I basically also want is the sum of it. So let's put a sum over here, and from our first table is customers. Because customers do not have a direct join to order details, it has a direct join to orders, and then orders has a join to order details. Will join orders with it on customer dot customer number, which will be equal to orders dot customer number, but also will join order details to this particular table on. Now the common columns are between order details and orders. So orders dot order number, which is equal to order details dot order number. Now once I do this and put a group by over here as well, that group this data based on customer name, and run this. Okay. This is how my output would look like, that here we have customer name, here we have sum of all our values, right? That how much of the total sales this particular customer has given us in total, right? Also, let's call this column as sales. Now you know that the value of our payments lies in the payments column, where we have a direct join to customer number, that is our payments over here, and this is the amount they have paid. So basically what I want is that payment should also reflect in one of the columns. In order to do so, what I'll say, I'll also call payments dot amount. Okay, and also their sum, right? Sum of payments dot amount. And now we can also do, we can join another table over here, that join payments. How do we join payments who have a common column with payments? The customer table, right? So we'll join payments by saying that payments dot customer number should be equal to customers dot customer number, and also put on over here. Yeah. So now we have the values, and now if I run it, there might be some issue. Let me just check. Customers dot customer number. Okay, the spelling here. Okay, let me run and see the output. See, let me also give the name to this particular column of payments as payments only. Okay. So this is the customer name, this is the sales that person has given, and this is the payment we have received. Something is weird over here. What we can see is Atlaia Graphic has bought a product of 66,943 but has given a payment of 1,56,000. Does it make sense to you that if you buy something worth 500 and then you pay 1000 rupees for it? Doesn't make any sense. And there are several such instances over here. For example, this Land of Toys, they have bought a product, total product of 4,47,000 while they have paid 5,27,000. Actually, it is 52,74,000, which is actually a lot. Okay, doesn't make any sense here as well. So, what is wrong over here is basically the many to many relationship. What many to many relationship? That customers has a unique identity of customer number. It has a unique column called as customer number, which is unique for it, right? If I go to orders, these customer numbers over here are repeating 103, 103, 103, 112, 112, 112. 114 has placed orders 5 times, and that's why 5 times its name is reflecting. When we come to payments and arrange our data again in the ascending order, 3 times payments, 3 times payments, and 4 time payment. That means one time it has not, this particular customer has not paid, right? So, because of the many to many relationship between our data, it is not giving us the correct output. So, how do we get the correct output over here? Well, pretty simple. Remove the payments from here. Okay. Also, remove the join with the payments. This is the data that we have as of now. This is the data that we have of our sales. If I run it, this is sales. Let's call it as table sales. Okay. With S as this is our sales table. Similarly, let's call our payments table as well. Okay. B as let's put a comma over here because we want to create another subquery. This query, what this query will be basically, let me write it. First of all, let me write it for you so that I can show it to you. This will be nothing but if I say select customer dot customer name comma, we are also looking for the payments that they have made. So we'll say that in the payments table we have a column called as amount. I want their sum. So basically we are writing two separate queries over here, calling them a CTE and then calling one single query which will call the customer name from first table, the sales from the first table, and the payments from the second table, so that our mapping is done properly. Sum from payments join customers on payments dot customer number is equal to customers dot customer number. Okay. Group by customer's name. Okay. Let's call this as payments. If I run this, this is the customer and this is the payment they have made. Now let's give it a name. Okay. Let's close it inside the bracket. Put a comma over here because we are creating a second CTE. That B as we don't have to write with again and again. We can simply write B is this. Now we can say that from A table we want the customer name, comma. From A table we also want the sales. From B table we want the payments. From A join B on A dot customer name is equal to B dot customer name. With B dot customer name, and we can join both of them. So once we have joined both of them with the common columns over here, so when I run this, this is not the output. Okay, all right. So the name of the table is not A and B but S and B. So let me call it S from here, S from here. From S table join the B table. From S call this, and now let's run it. So basically you can see
the output now. That here we have the customer name, here we have the sales, here we have the payments. You can also find the difference between them in order to check if there is any pending amount. For example, here we can see that this particular customer, La Rochelle Gifts, has made a sales of 1,58,573, but the amount that we have received is only 1,16,000. So now what you can also do over here, you can put a comma and say s dot sales minus b dot payments, and let's call this as pending amount. Pending. Okay, let's call it as pending only. So now we can get the pending amount as well over here. You can see here we have sales, here we have payments, here we have the pending amount. Why we couldn't write a single query is just because of the many to many relationship over here between our customer number and customer number. The customer in order table is coming many times, and also the customer number in the payment tables is coming many times. Due to that relationship, we could not create a query in a single table, but what we did instead, we have utilized not subquery but common table expressions over here in order to create one table with the sales data, the other table with the payments data, and then we have joined them together in order to retrieve this particular data, which is nothing but the name of the customer, the sales they have made, the payment we have received, and the amount that is pending. So I hope the CTE part is pretty much clear. How and where we can utilize it is also clear. And for more such tech related videos, subscribe to our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you. If you want to become a successful data analyst and want to join Wscube Tech's premium data analytics mentorship program, then the applications for our second cohort is open. This mentorship program will be led by top industry mentors from Amazon, Rapido, KPMG and Microsoft along with Wscube Tech. Here we will be covering more than 20 projects in the entire course. We'll also provide you placement assistance in this program. So if you want to be the part of this cohort, then link to apply for the cohort is provided in our description. So apply now. And now let's get started, guys.
Views in SQL are also known as virtual table, and how to create a view in MySQL, we'll be learning about that in this session. So hello everyone and a very warm welcome to Wscube Tech. My name is Ayushi Jain, and in this video we are going to talk about views in MySQL. How to create a view is very simple, guys. For example, here we have been given this data called as classic models. Here we have table. I want to create a virtual table. Let's say on a daily basis, I want to analyze some kind of data. Could be based on a join or could be anything. For example, let's say I have created a join over here. Let's create a join first of all between our order details and products. So from our products table, I'm going to choose products. That select products dot, or let's call the product table as p dot product name, comma. And from our order details table, so let's open order details. In our order details table, we have quantity ordered. We also have the price of each product. So let's also write the product line, that p dot product line, comma. From our order details, let's call order details as O, order details dot quantity ordered, and we also want the price of each product. So the name of quantity ordered is basically quantity ordered, and O dot price each. Okay, I believe these are the name of the column, price each and the quantity ordered. And from our products table, we have product name and product line as well. Okay, now I believe the L in product line is also capital. Now from our table 1 is products, and as we have named it as P, we are going to write as P. From product as P, in a join, order details as O. On the basis of what? In both of them, what is common? Product code is common. So even if I open products table, so here you'll notice that in the products table, what do we have is product code, and in here in the order details again we have product code. So how we can join on the basis of product code? So on P dot product code is equal to O dot product code again. This is my table, this is my analysis that I have driven from here. Okay, so this is my table basically whenever each of the product was ordered, and if you want you can get the order number as well. Okay, so O dot order number. Okay, so we have these few things. Order number, keep the order number on the top. Let's keep it on the top. So I'm gonna keep this one here, put a comma right after order number, and here we do not have the data because I have missed an O from here. Okay, so here we have the order number. We also have the product name. We have the product line, the quantity ordered, and the price each. Now let's say every day I want to analyze this data. So every day I'm not going to write this query. What I can do is I can create a view out of it. How? Just write create view, and the name of our view is, let's say, sales and orders. So SNO. Let me just call it SNO, which will be sales and orders data, as this is our table. Okay, so once I run it, no, we will not receive any output. If I refresh it, you'll see in the views we have a table SNO, and if I open this, in this SNO we have that same data which we obtained through that query. And now with the help of SNO, we can write anything that, let's say, select product name or maybe anything, that select sum of quantity ordered from SNO, where product line is equal to motorcycles. And if I run this, we have our sum which is 0. Okay, let me just see. Okay, the spelling of motorcycles is wrong, that's why. So the sum is motorcycle, and here the quantity ordered is 12,778. So here we have our output. So what you can do is, instead of writing a whole query where we can put a whole join, you can create a view out of this. This view could be based on anything. All you need to do is on the top of your query, just write create view SNOS. So the name over here is optional. Whatever name you want to give to your table, it is actually a virtual table. So whatever name you want to give to your table, you can give it, and here you can create a virtual table for yourself. It will not act like actual table which has a primary key, constraints or anything. It will just be a virtual table which you have created from your own query. It can contain a simple query as well, or it can contain a complex queries as well. I hope it is clear how to create a view. If anytime you want to create a view, just start like create view. Let's call it France, as select everything from customers where country is equal to France. And once I run this query and refresh it, here we have a table which is named as France, and if I open this, I have data of all the customers who are from France. So yes, simply you can write your query, and just before your query you can write create view, name of your view, and use as, so that you can create a query right after that. You can write a query just right after that. So this is how you can create a view easily using SQL. I hope it is clear to you. And for more such SQL related videos, stay tuned guys. Thank you.
Hello everyone, welcome to Wscube Tech. My name is Ayushi Jain. And guys, in our today's video, we are going to talk about stored procedures in MySQL. Guys, what are stored procedures? How do we utilize them? Let's have a look on that. Stored procedures are kind of a functions, just like in Python we have a predefined functions which for which we can write a code, and whenever we call them in our program, a certain task will be executed. Similarly, in here in SQL, we have stored procedure where we can write a query and create a table. Whenever we call it, that table will call the data dynamically. So suppose if there is any repetitive task which you need to do every day, in that case we can utilize stored procedure, so that you can store a query inside the procedure, and whenever you call that procedure, that query will run and you will get your desired output, and you do not have to write that query over and over again. You can also make changes with the parameters. For example, if I create a stored procedure, I simply need to write create procedure, and let's give it any name. Create procedure, let's write any. Okay, so I'm simply giving the name as any only. What does it need to do? It needs to select any is already some keyword over here, so anything. Okay, so select everything from customers. This is what this procedure is supposed to do. If I run this and see over here on the left, nothing happened. Let's refresh it. You will now notice there is the arrow in front of stored procedure. If you open it, there is something called as anything. Let's call it. In order to call it, you can write call anything. And you need to close the bracket and now run it. So it will call the entire customers table. You can also define that in here where let's say the country is equal to USA. Okay, let's call it US. Okay, so now if I run this and refresh it, you will now notice there's another store procedure called as US. Let's call it call US with the open close parentheses. Now if I run it, I'll get all the data from the customer table, but where the country is USA. Okay, so this is how we can obtain our outputs. Similarly, you can also change these parameters. Wouldn't it be interesting that whenever I call from any country data, I can directly write the name of that country and I get the data of the customers of that country. So we can do that as well by little tweaking in the stored procedure. How? See, we'll create a procedure. Let's call it country. Okay. In the country, we want to create a variable. Okay. A variable whose name is A, which is a varchar because it's going to be country inside it. Okay. So we'll give a input of variable which is A, or you can just write var as well. That we will give an input of A, which is a varchar. Varchar will be of 30 letters over here. What is it supposed to do is that it should select everything from customers where the value of our country should be equal to A. Okay, the A variable that we have created over here. Let's give it any other name. Country. Okay, country seems fine to me. You can give any name to this procedure. You can write your own name as well. Okay. So I have created a procedure called as country, which is supposed to get the customer's data of any country that I define. So if I run it right now and refresh over here, I'll have a country's data, a country stored procedure. When I need to call it, I can simply write country. Let's also give any name. Let's give Germany. If you don't give any parameter name, it would not work. You need to give a parameter over here. And now if I call this, it will call all the customers from Germany. If I put France here, it will give all the data of customers who are from France. Similarly, if I put any other particular country over here like USA, it will give the data of USA. So it is dynamically changing, and also as soon as new data will be introduced to your database, it will also dynamically change the value as well. So I hope it is pretty much clear that how we can create stored procedures using MySQL, and I hope that you like this video to practice more questions related to the topics that we have covered so far. You guys can utilize different platforms like LeetCode, HackerRank, SQL Zoo, Data Lemur. There are many platforms. I hope you like this video, and for more such tech related video, subscribe to our channel Wscube Tech. Thank you.